What's up, everybody? This is the poker coaching study session. Today, we're going to be looking at a hand history from James. So, James won. What was the game, James?
$16 game.
1650 on ACR. So, let's see how he did it.
PK or vanilla?
No PKO. Vanilla.
All right. Okay. What do we do here? I mean, pretty strong hand, but 4.5x. I guess you could call, you could fold. It's probably nothing wrong. Let's see what you did. Fold, fine with it. This one should be the big blind. No. Jack nine, probably not. Pocket queens, let's see that one. Oh wait, the big blind first. King trio.
Louis, I take it we're folding the ace 10 there because the large bet size is normally strength
Yeah.
against some of these players.
Yes, most players just like to telegraph their hand strength. That way they
Yeah,
don't get sucked out so much.
yeah. Okay.
They just
I
get it
played with
in.
God's Big Toe. I played with Big Toe for like 2 hours on this game. So
All right.
What?
Let's see if we can find him. Well, his name's gonna be somewhere, so.
it was towards the end. Yeah, it was towards the end.
Okay. Open jam. Ace four. Are we opening? Button cutoff hijack.
Nope.
Igor knows the pre-flop range pretty well. Let's trust him.
It's A7 off.
This one though, probably an open, right?
Easy open.
So missing RFI here.
Yeah.
Again, missing RFI. Oh, well, this one is closer. Three bet. Let's go. Lead. We're gonna call. Oh, when they downsize like this, the guy has like ace four suited and he's just like trying not to get stacked. Oh, maybe it was the flush. We're gonna figure it out. Wow, ace four suited.
Good call, Louis.
Is there a raise on the flop maybe? Click back.
I don't think so. If the guy is just like willing to lead like this, like sometimes he's gonna have an eight. And then it's a cold call, right? So he may have like a ace queen or ace king. And
I don't
then,
think he has many eights in range.
well, some people may want to call with eight seven suited, eight nine suited. So I agree with you. When he bets the turn like this, he's just trying not to get stacked. Um, but when people lead the flop, I believe that they're gonna lead like three streets. And then you wanna kind of keep the worst hands in and keep the bluffs in. So I don't
Yeah,
mind
I
this play at
agree,
all.
but yeah, we were so deep that I don't know. Maybe it's a play, maybe not.
So what were you saying? I should. What should I have done different here? I guess I don't understand what I should have done different.
I
I
think it's
would
fine.
click back flop
Okay.
The problem is
just to
you're
get
pretty
value
deep.
from weaker ace-X.
Yeah, you're pretty deep though. You don't wanna play for stacks with like top pair very much. But yeah, I like the way you played it personally.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Oh, the big blind for do so, not gonna happen. This one, not gonna happen. Button, not happening. King eight suited, are you gonna raise, James?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. And then you're gonna fold to the three bet because no one three bet bluffs enough.
I'm always flatting here.
I don't like
I
flatting.
called. I think it mixes, right?
If you look at GTO, it's always gonna be a call.
Oh.
I think that most players are weak, especially at these stakes. Okay, so bet call on the flop, check on the turn. I think you won a bet, so he's pretty weak, never has ace king, never has aces, never has kings. So if I don't take time to think about it, I would go around pot size, get a crying call from a pocket 10, pocket queen maybe. Or like king jack off that he may wanna bluff. But given
probably
his range is pretty weak, thinking about it a little bit more, I like something like half pot. That way you get called by a weaker hand sometimes.
I was thinking like 65%.
Yeah,
The
you
or bet.
I
No,
don't
I'm
mind
good.
this. If I have a lot of tables and I don't think this pot too much, this is what I'm gonna do. So I don't mind it at all, but you're trying to get called by something weak here. He's never gonna call pot. Oh, yeah, pocket tens. I think a lot of players are gonna fold here with pocket tens, but if you make it half pot, um, there's better chance that he calls, but yeah. I call it
I
yet
think
again.
I think it's played perfectly. I think
Yeah,
pocket tens will be called. There are some busted flush draws. We have some bluffs in our range. So yeah, we
okay,
should get max value from pocket tens, pocket jacks, pocket queens.
fair. Or bet. I don't like your size at all here. Think you should make it 2.1x, 2.2x. You're very deep though, so maybe 2.5x, but never 3x or above 3x. I think you're just need to work on your four bet size. It's like 2.1, 2.2 usually.
Yeah, we never
Okay.
go for this size. Also, there might be a question regarding flatting the three bet. EP versus MP.
Yeah, yeah,
I would flat.
probably a thing sometimes. Okay, you bet a third,
Quarter pot.
quarter, yeah. Yeah, it's good in a four bet pot. We don't have a spade. We kind
I'd
of pick
probably
up
check this back.
equity. Yeah, I like it. Check again. Jam, fold, pair.
So the thing takeaway is smaller four bet size. Okay.
Yeah. I would open here from the cutoff. Ace six off.
I thought it was ace seven. Ace seven off from the cutoff, ace five off from the button.
Well, we can look at it.
Ace two, ace five. 2589.
Ace five offsuit should be the bottom.
Maybe I'm wrong. Fair enough.
Okay, so
Yeah, we're
60
50.
deep,
50. Yeah.
cutoff. Yeah, ace five, ace seven, ace six.
Okay.
Never
2589.
thought,
Easiest
never,
way to remember
never thought you'd be too tight, James.
it.
I tightened up over the past since I started playing on gold.
Okay, check. I think you wanna have some bets here. Probably small. Let's see what you do. Check again. Don't mind it. Gonna call. Call again. And beat the jack. Probably just a fold. Misclick, I guess.
I don't remember the hand, so I don't know. Let's see
Yeah.
what
Would you,
under
would
the gun
you,
open, and I'm in what? Where am I the button?
big blind?
Oh, that's a call. Yeah, I probably just had too much shit going on.
I like the 3-bet.
Yeah.
Little squeeze, 4-bet, fold. Jam, fold. What's the floor here on suited kings? 25 deep.
From the small blind? I
Yeah,
don't know.
I think king 8.
King
suited.
8.
King 6 seems possible.
yeah, right?
Maybe, yeah. So it's within the range. Let's see. Yeah, King 6 pure. Yeah. King 5 a little bit.
Yeah,
Usually from the small blind, suited kings are pretty good. You just chuck in like a 1.5 bigs and you can flop a flush. It's not too bad.
suited connectors.
You don't want to miss like Queen 8, 10 8, Jack 8 suited. These sorts of hands. I think commonly people tend to fold them a little bit too much.
Yeah,
I definitely do, I think.
hmm
why would you check here? Any reason?
Should be range bet.
I don't think
Open
it's a
call?
range bet
It was
or
open call, right?
Yes.
It's a third pot bet.
like these ace paired boards in general have splitting because like queens, kings, jacks doesn't have too much
Yeah.
incentives to bet.
Seems pretty good to check, yeah. I mean, trips board, but big blind could have like trip nines, and your hand doesn't really fold out much better, so you can commonly still slow play, I think, a little bit. Usually, like a medium card would be highly checked: ace 7 7, ace 8 8, ace 9 9. So now you have an easy call.
I just fold. Yeah.
No, I mean you have
Yeah.
gut shot,
I should
right?
call,
So
is what you're saying. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, if you check back the flop, then probably.
You beat hearts too. It's a
I
call.
mean, you just have a clear, still have equity. You're not never really drawing dead.
Also, when you
It's a
I
small bet,
remember-
that's why.
Right? Like king jack.
I
is
remember
winning
this
mostly
guy.
of the time.
I remember that. I remember his name. I don't remember what about it, but I do remember his name.
Piles for a while. Holy shit.
when
Yeah,
you check back
sevens.
flop, you need to be ready to call probes.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Especially a small bet for sure. Yeah, sevens looks like a good call. Call once.
This is not a jam pre. Sevens.
No, I think you don't want to jam sevens against low jack because he's gonna call eights, he's gonna fold sixes. So it doesn't make too much sense to jam sevens against a low jack range. You want to jam stuff like fives, fours, because he might like fours. You jam, he might fold five, sixes. So that's pretty okay. If you jam like sevens, I think, yeah, kind of blocking his. Yeah, see, I mean, okay, it doesn't even jam the five sixes, but yeah, you don't really jam sevens because, plus this is a bit deep, right? This is 40 deep. Maybe you can look at 30.
Yeah. 40 is different, definitely.
On the big blind, we overcall those low pocket pairs.
Okay, so yeah, so I mean this one it kind of calls sixes, jams fives, fours. So it's very sensitive to like the opening range. You want to jam something where you can fold out a little bit better and you can kind of call a bit worse, right? So yeah. Like if you jam nines, he's gonna call eights, so it's not bad. But it's
Yeah, I just
quite
shove every pair this spot. I think it's more easy to not miss. But
okay.
it's fine.
Three bet? Oh, jam. Wow. I don't know about jamming, but three bet seems okay.
Yeah, I would not jam here either.
Yeah, because ace 10 offsuit doesn't seem when you get called, it's pretty bad, right? Because
Yeah,
you get
just a
called
three bet.
usually by like ace jack suited, ace queen off, so it kind of have you dominated. So just a three bet should be okay. Three bet fold seems pretty good.
I think necessarily bad the combo, but the position if we are in the small blind, this hand probably is just a shove. But from the button,
From the button, yeah, because you
it
have
starts
position,
to
right? So you
yeah
can even call, I think, sometimes.
yeah probably we can mix size or flat. Yeah.
Mm.
5 or 5.5 there.
I thought it was a
Yeah.
bluff at ace 10 bluff,
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
Yeah, you
against
do bluff.
hijack.
You do bluff like 7 bigs, it's fine.
Yeah, you can three bet, but not jamming probably is not as ideal with offsuit hand. Open. Okay. King three.
What's oh, God's big toe is here.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it depends on the state of the tournament, right? Obviously, in Chip EV, we defend everything,
King
but if
7
it's
offsuit.
yeah,
it's not 9 a.m., so it's still in late reg.
yeah, Chip EV, we can defend pretty much everything. But if it's like ICM, then you wanna probably skip a bit of the worst suited kings, the worst offsuit kings. Go like something like King 6, King 7, if it's
Ooh,
ICM.
very
Fold.
close spot. What do you guys
I
do?
mean, easy fold ace 4
What's
because
your floor?
you have two guys behind you. Probably something like ace 8 suited, maybe.
Okay.
Seems okay. Because you
Good
want to
idea.
be good when when you're calling, you want to be like have some equity, right? You don't want to just flip, and you have two guys behind you. You know, ace 4, your 4 is never gonna be live against. He's gonna jam stuff like fives, fours, sixes, king jack suited. So the 4 is pretty bad when calling. You can call it in the big blind maybe, but not in the button, I think. Um,
I'm not three betting ever here.
yeah, I think it's just flat for sure because you're against a UTG range. So your eights, if you want to three bet, you're a three bet to get it in, which is if he jams, it's not ideal, right? And just calling seems much better with the hand. You're not really gonna make him fold nines. You're not really gonna, get called by worse
So what's
too
the
much.
bottom
Too
of your
much.
3-bet range there then?
I mean, eights is just a very natural flatting hand. So certain hands like ace jack suited, eights, nines, just
Pocket
seem pretty
10s.
good to flats. So if you want to three bet get it in, probably something like pocket tens, pocket jacks, ace king, ace queen suited, maybe something like that. Yeah. This is pretty much the range. Eights just play a lot better as a flat in these positions.
So it looks like 9s start doing it a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, nines usually against UTG probably is not like super ideal, right? Because but like yeah, starting at like tens, nines, maybe you can start to play more for value.
I don't like this
And also,
card.
it also depends on ICM, of course. Like if the higher
Yeah,
ICM, you know,
that
yeah.
yeah, that was a mistake there. And I did it a couple times in this tournament. I know I did, but
Here's a
I
theory
looked it up
question.
later. It's a flat,
Versus
right?
Yeah,
chip leader,
Roland.
should we size up on the 3-bet sizing?
Yes, you should make
Um,
it 7.
Yeah, I mean, just a little size up if you're both deep is pretty okay. If
Okay.
one guy is shallow, then so it's probably fine to just go 6 or 5.
With the raise spot, right?
I think calling's
Suited.
okay, but you can do both.
I tend
Probably
to
fine to
over
mix.
raise suited nines there.
Yeah, probably
Yeah,
this
'cause-
Jack 9, it's like it's almost squeezing pure.
You can do both. It's a mix. It's a mix. Yeah. I mean, you want to have both in your range, right? Because post flop.
He made it 4x. Not 2.3 though.
Did he?
I thought I saw an 8 there.
No.
No, that was a squeeze.
Oh, I missed.
Yeah. So he
Ah,
flatted,
I
and the
see.
guy went
I see.
8x, and then we
Okay.
just folded. Yeah.
I thought it was.
But if he had went 8x, it would be fine as well. I think from the small blind, pretty standard. Good raising here, 2 overs.
I would
Can
see
go
that
pretty-
here.
You can
Probably
go
see
pretty
that-
big.
Yeah.
You want to go
Oh.
like pot or over bet here.
Yeah.
Oh,
Eight,
I do
6
small.
tree.
I did small, I think. I'm pretty sure I
Yeah,
went small.
This
check.
flop is probably like closer to pot over bet, or depends what strategy you want to play. Some people play mostly 55%, but I think this board, because there's so many gut shots, you just don't really get to go small much if at all. You can take a look at the solve. Because
Yeah.
these are pretty classic overbet boards, right? And your hand is pretty good one to overbet.
I'm not
Because
sure if we are going to overbet in this non.
It's like one of those ones where sets and ace king go small.
oh yeah, true.
But with,
Yeah, Victor.
with Jack
Probably
high,
spots.
2 overcards, I don't think we like to check back, right?
I mean, it's probably like overbet or check, right? On the strategy, 8-6-3. We can take a look. Because I see 2 gut shots, and I'm always playing overbet or check in a sense. You put a lot of pressure on yeah, I mean this solve just goes 66 or check. We can look at GTO Wizard and see if it's even better. Was it 50, right? So
50, yeah.
I can send a screenshot. So
I did work
hijack.
with the true tone to see if it goes overbet.
Okay, so yeah, so this is closer to what I expect. I'll send it in the chat. I'll change it up to 2-tone just to test it out. It's pretty similar. Pretty similar.
Yeah.
So if you look at that one, what can we see? We see almost no small betting. Pretty much just overbet B125 or check. Pretty much no other sizes are that great, right? The only ones that what Danny said, sets, pocket 8s, you can go small a little bit, pocket 6s maybe, you don't want to go overbet. Ace king, yeah, a little bit, but mostly overbet or check. 2-tone as well, yeah. So Jack
Okay.
9, okay. It wasn't available in this one because it's hijack. But maybe you were in the cutoff, right? Because one guy was sitting out. So seems okay hand to overbet for sure. 16.5, okay. Got big toe. It's okay, middle set here. Very big bet, but it's okay. Well, why is the pot so big? It's single. Oh, is it 3-bet or what?
No, I bet half pot on the flop.
Yeah, okay.
Now you bought it.
James is in it.
Okay. Seems okay.
Was that not a big bet flop anyway with the flush draw and the straight draw?
I think so.
Queen Jack X. Queen Jack X seems like an okay one to go big bet as well.
Yeah.
Seems an okay one.
What I do,
Uh,
50% or 55%? Something like that.
yeah, I mean, oh, nice. I like the raise here. Very good. I think like we want to find some raises from these spots, and then we pick up equity on a turn. We can go barrel. Very nice. Very aggressive play. I like it. Yeah, this is how you want to play, honestly. This is the red line. Yeah, pick up some equity, we blast again, and then see what happens on the river. Then on the river, he's going to be really face up, so we have a pretty easy decision. Can kind of decide if he's going to fold or call, and then just kind of exploit from that point. 5-4 here, kind of interesting tree bet. I kind of like it against a deeper stack. If like the guy had like 50 bigs, this would be really nice. Against 25, this hand selection may not be ideal. Might still be okay, but like generally this shallow, we don't get to I guess the value of blockers is a bit up, is a bit higher. 5-4, you want to play for like stacks when you're deeper. Yeah, so it's a little bit
I think it's
a
gonna
bit
be
too
like
loose.
a very very far off, like very
Yeah,
far
yeah.
off.
For
Yeah,
30
yeah.
bigs for sure, but 100 bigs, I think you get it in. You can start to do a bit of tree betting.
This play is Wasnock approved,
100 bigs. We can.
Who's
which is
Wasnock?
not a good thing. Last year's main
Uh,
event runner-up.
oh shit, okay.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Ah,
see
yeah,
100
the old
bigs.
guy. Yeah, the
He
old
did.
guy. Yeah.
He 3-bet 5-4 suited on final two tables.
What I
Oh
do,
fuck, I mean,
what I do on that 5-4? Did I 3-bet or did I fold?
you tree bet it, and then I think he folded probably.
The only thing that I would mention about the one hand that we had before, yeah, I don't think like we need to overbet on the turn with 10-8 suited. Like, I think like we did overbet on the turn, right? And
No, I think he went half pot. He raised the flop, and then the
yeah, I
flop.
saw it. I saw it. It
Yeah,
was
turn was
18 in the
40
middle.
bigs. He went 22.
No,
I overbet
no,
the
it's
turn. I overbet the
yeah.
turn.
I don't.
Okay.
Yeah,
I thought you went like half pot. Yeah, this one is a
yeah,
bit too much. Yeah,
it's not gonna work because you're gonna overbet the turn, yeah, and then like your river jam will be like 40 into 62. That's gonna be like two-thirds spot, and it's gonna be like a little bit weird because, let's say for example, he has like those inelastic hands that are like 3x of hearts, jack x of hearts. It's not like he's gonna fold those, yeah. But I think like with a normal bet sizing, we're gonna make him fold like ace four, ace deuce, 5x, 3x on the turn. Like a normal bet sizing would be like
yeah, like a
something
geo bet size, like kind of close to pot, 17 or something, and then we go all in on the
like
river. Seems okay.
somewhere
18.
in the ballpark of like B75 between like because 22 looked like we suddenly don't have a jack, suddenly we have a better than a jack, and it's so hard to have a better than a jack on jack 5-3 rainbow.
True. Yeah.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
that
I
would be
think.
the only adjustment that I would make with this
Yeah.
turn line. And obviously, like one thing to mention is like you actually don't need to bet that hand every single time because like you are in position. You can basically bet weaker hands. Like let's say, for example, you can bet something like
6-7 maybe.
no, I was thinking like something like king six of clubs,
Okay.
like something like that. Yeah, but take the open-ended equity on a flush card because jack x of hearts and 3x of hearts could possibly check jam in our face. And then it means like, well, we folded an open-ender. And in this type of a scenario, like it's not the same if we see bet and then double barrel, like they could have king queen and queen 10 occasionally, but in this node they cannot. So we don't need to worry about like rivering a pair versus those type of hands. I think it would be really nice to double barrel this hand if we opened c-bet and double barrel, yeah. But if they
Yeah.
lead, we raise. We could. I'm not saying I would. I'm saying like we could occasionally check it back, on a heart that is not a jack or a three,
Yeah, I
occasionally.
kind of when I think about whether I want to barrel my hands, I kind of think like, okay, if I check back, do I have any chance of winning? And I think this hand, it kind of qualifies like sometimes you're gonna river at 10, Sometimes you just go check back, you have a very nice this guy straight. So definitely you can mix with
Yeah,
hands that
I
can
think
actually
it's very
win.
interesting. Yeah, it's very
Yeah.
interesting
But
because
I,
we
w- I would
did
not,
raise the
yeah.
flop. Yeah, because we
Yeah, yeah.
did raise the flop. Yeah, let's say for example, I'm just imagining like let's say they don't have a pair. Yeah, the hands that don't have a pair is usually like what? Probably like 4-6 suited, 4 deuce suited, something like
Ace four,
that. Yeah,
ace,
ace four, ace
deuce.
deuce.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking like, well, if he has 4-6 suited, it's nice to check back this hand because if we river a 7, we're gonna straight over straight for a like 150, like
Yeah.
for a 150 big blind pot, yeah. But obviously, I'm not saying like you should check. I'm just saying like you could consider that in a sense, like what is more likely to happen, when he bet calls the flop, is he going to be super strong? Probably not, and that's why like you actually want to do a bit of both, but definitely I would advise not to overbet because then you suddenly almost pot committed,
Yeah,
Almost.
you can bet, you can check this one sometimes, and then you can pure bet something like 10-7 of diamonds, something a little bit worse where you have like just a gut
Yeah,
shot,
but and
and
also
then
like when you open UTG, like you have a lot of
oh
really
yeah,
strong,
true.
really strong draws. You can have like a gut shot plus a flush draw, like open ender plus a flush draw, pair plus a flush draw, like like those hands that are really happy to bet because they have so much equity. But this hand is like, huh, if you check it back, like. I think what's going to happen is like you actually still make them fold a 3-5 on the river, like a bottom pair or a middle pair, and a jack is still not folding, in my opinion.
So what are
So
you doing with like, let's say pocket nines here? What size are
well,
you doing with
yeah,
pocket
I
nine?
think like actually like you want to make a size, yeah, that is actually makes a 5 or a 3 to call, like something in between like 9 and 12 big blinds, I think works really nicely in terms of like, like like we don't have to every single time bet like, pot, yeah. We can also go 2/3 pot, like 3/4 pot, because like I'm just thinking like if he has like this is probably ACR or something like that, where they play these type of lines, They suddenly lead the flop on 3-5 jack rainbow, And what they have is usually like something like a gut shot, small pair, a
Ace
5.
five, something like that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like it's
Middling
usually
hand that just wants to
yeah,
bet. Yeah.
it's actually like really nice to obviously like it's super nice to like bet large, yeah. But you can also like tell yourself, hey, his range is only a 3, a 5, or a gut shot, Then like, well, why would we bet big, If the range is let's say it's like almost drawing dead versus our value, yeah. And if we are bluffing, yeah, we don't need to risk as much as we would risk in a normal configuration when we see bet the flop and double barrel the turn. Then I would size up, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
All
Okay.
right.
And those are like really interesting hands, yeah, for sure. But again, like I personally like betting 2 on the turn. Yeah, like I think that's the most profitable line you can pick in
Do
that.
you like calling there rather than shoving?
Yeah, just call.
Um,
You don't want to shove the guy off, I think. He could sometimes overthink it and shove something like nines. If he has nines, tens, happen to slow play pre, and then you call there,
Yeah,
you
nines,
get a
tens,
chance
and
for him
ace
to,
queen O, right?
yeah,
Nines,
yeah.
tens, and ace queen
Something
O.
with
Yeah.
blockers, ace queen O, he just thinks that you're weak, and it also like calling is really nice because you protect your calls, right? So like when you have something a little bit worse, when you have ace queen, you want to call, and then he can't shove over the top, right? So that's pretty good. Easy
Yeah.
call, then we win. Yeah.
Nice, 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 nice. That's lovely.
Little call here against UTG seems okay.
I'm not sure about the lead here.
I mean, these type of things are actually like really nice, yeah. But the only thing is like once you start like let's say for example you start like betting larger than a like between like quarter like like quarter pot would be the standard lead you want to use because like you want to also be able to bet your sevens, your 10x, and once you start like betting half pot, yeah, I think it's like basically you shift from having like, you know, a gut shot, a second pair, like ace highs, you know, like you can lead on 10 high boards, like that's really nice, yeah. But once you do go big, yeah, then suddenly like you're only betting a 10x or a strong draw. Like if you
I
go
also
so
think
big.
this hand nearly never wants to do it. We have leads in range, but I don't really want to lead this hand. We mainly get
Yeah,
folds from worse. We get folds from king jack. We get folds
yeah,
from king nine.
I would not use this hand particularly, but you know, like sometimes like you have your ideas, yeah, but those ideas should be like wrapped around like small bet sizes, you know, like basically you want to make him
Yeah.
indifferent with the hand, like I don't know, like ace nine of diamonds, you know, like a hand like pocket sixes, you know, like the big blind has a hand like I don't know, like we lead like let's say for example we do decide to lead a hand like king seven suited, you know, and the big blind has a hand like, you know, a hand like ace seven offsuit without the club, you know, he's already a little bit hesitant, you know, like I would like
Yeah,
the
yeah.
small sizing, yeah, if I would decide to lead anything in my range, yeah.
One thing you need to realize is that you're against UTG. So when you're leading like a big size into like a strong range, you gotta be a bit careful. Yeah, I think like when leading a small blind, I usually just do like 1/3 to 1/4.
Yeah, me
You know,
too,
and
me
it's
too,
pretty
me
kind
too,
of
me too.
nice. Yeah, and
Yeah,
I kind of like to do it against cut off small blind button a lot more, just because like you know he's gonna have less concentration of like aces, kings, a lot of like easy continues, easy, you know, and like when you rate like what Tim was alluding to, you know, when you bet a hand like king queen suited, you know, you have like kind of like very nice backdoors. You block a lot of his folds. A lot of his folds are gonna come from stuff like king nine suited, king jack suited,
yeah, there
queen
is
jack
like
suited, stuff like that, right? So
interesting
yeah.
ideas around like you know you can make an argument, you know, about the idea that you kind of have like a reasonable hand, you know, to make like under pairs uncomfortable, yeah, but there's not too many under pairs from the UTG, you know, and
Yeah, yeah.
deuce, yeah, on deuce 7-10, you know, it's like, well, if he has eights, nines, he's gonna peel one, you know, maybe like you make like sixes and fives fold, yeah, which is maybe that's okay. Like, but that would not be my plan. You know, my plan on two-tone board would be like, you know, like to actually like I would personally like lean towards like checking my whole hand. Like, you know, all the
Yep.
hands that I have, I would just check on two-tone. But if it's like you know, like no flush draw on the board, then I think it's like really nice to lead a hand like queen jack suited, like you know, hand
Oh
like
yeah.
Yeah.
jack nine
I also
suited.
wanted to comment that I think the backdoor flush draw is a particularly bad combo to donk with. We would love if flop went check through, and then we see us hard on the turn, and we consider polarizing at that point.
Yeah, we have some
Um,
equity. We have some equity, right? So
and this
Yeah,
hand
yeah,
really
like
benefits from playing turns and rivers. Like we don't really want to
yeah.
just end the action on the flop. We're fine
Mm-hmm.
with seeing
I
turns and
would
rivers.
I would much rather want to have like 3-4 of hearts here, 3-6 of hearts, maybe something like 6-5. These
We could
kinds
have
of
a
hands
little
to lead,
king
and I
queen
would
O
never
with a
want to
single
lead king
club.
queen here.
yeah, king queen with one club seems okay. You block a
We
lot
can
more
have
of
some
his
offsuit here, which would be okay. We don't really have
his
offsuit
calls.
stuff that's worse than that, but we could have like some jack nine of hearts,
Yeah,
maybe.
this
It's a little
is the
ambitious.
yeah, it's gonna look like this in theory on the two-tone board, like we're gonna have like around yeah, around 2% lead. Yeah, so that's not a thing on a two-tone. I posted in the
I
chat. You can quickly
yeah.
take a look.
I,
Yeah.
I I studied a bit of this three-way leading for the small blind on the DTO back when I had the subscription, and it's kind of nice. Like against cutoff and big blind, 30 big blinds deep, you can donk jam a hand like queen 10 with one club here. You know, because it's kind of nice. Like you donk jam queen 10, and then they kind of have to call like jack 10, and then fold like queen jack with a club. You know, stuff like that. So it's kind of nice. You
Yeah,
know,
and also the first thing that
against
you
a
want
late
to
position
think,
for sure.
yeah,
Yeah.
the first thing that you want to think is like, is your opponent like opening like offset, you know, offset 10x pre-flop? As soon as like that's the case, yeah, like you and his range wraps around like 10x deuce, you know, like let's say it's like 10-7 deuce, you know, 10-9 deuce, yeah, like those boards will be led the least, you know, like and like basically you want to have some type of advantage on this board, you know, like it's going to be like, you know, like let's say for example you are the one who is calling the most with a hand like suited eights or suited nines, right? that means like the board probably needs to be like 9-7, right? Like because like you're calling like all of your suited 9x, pre-flop. And then like on the 9 high board, let me post you quickly the sim. 1 second, I just picked it up by the basically looking up at the texture, yeah. Like a 9, this is 9-7 deuce, yeah. Like let's say for example it would be like 9-7 deuce, yeah, where we have so many top pairs, yeah, and it's like a rainbow board, yeah, we can lead like well, like a lot of hands, like 20% frequency. That's like pretty substantial, it's like
But they
nice
have all the 9x suited, and the ratio of them having 9x suited is probably better than us having the 9x combos. So
well
that's why it doesn't want to. I really don't understand this sort of leading.
It's actually like basically you're sharing your equity three-way, right? Like let's say for example you flop a 9, right? What is gonna happen often is like you check, yeah. Let's say for example it's even like 9-4 deuce, like even more leading, because there's no connectivity between the high card and the low card, yeah. Like let me post quickly for you 9-4 deuce, 30% leading. Why you want to actually consider leading is because like you're gonna share your equity three ways, yeah. Often enough, like you're gonna bet, yeah. And even though like the player on the UTG has overpairs and 9x, yeah, like you actually invite in the big blind player with the deuce x, yeah, suited deuces, suited fours, pocket sevens, pocket sixes. But if it goes bet, you call, and then big blind needs to decide, he's gonna be less inclined to call, So like basically you're trying to like get the most out of your like flopped top pair. Obviously this is not the case with the 10-7 deuce, yeah, but like 9-4 deuce, it would be like really nice to consider.
Yeah, this kind of
leading.
sharing equity stuff is like very complex, but
Yeah,
I don't know.
because you're out of position versus two
Yeah.
players. Imagine like you're out of position versus two players and then playing three-way out of position again on the turn, yeah, instead of playing like out of position. Like it's not gonna be like you lead like 9-4 deuce with a flush draw, yeah, like big blind folds, yeah, and then the UTG player, let's say for example he goes and raises. Like it's not gonna be like you're gonna fold anything that is not a flush draw or a 9, like the only bad thing can happen is like like if it goes check check check, and your 9 downgrades to the second pair, or if you call and then the big blind raises a flush draw, UTG stacks off a 9 and you cannot stack off, like those
Yeah.
are like these problems that being three-way out of position, that's why like this is like it's and also like the one more like important note about this spot is that actually people are gonna play pretty straightforward, they are gonna let's say for example big blind calls with the 4 and then the player from the UTG just goes all in 25 blinds, and what is he gonna have? He's gonna have a flush draw and a 9 for value in theory. But in the solver land, solver will also go all in with ace king off, so ace queen off,
Yeah,
so
a
ace
little
check
bit
off,
of
so ace.
bluffing with equity, right? Because it's a solver, is gonna play very, very clean,
Mhm.
very balanced against it. So I was just saying, like, I was just thinking, like, like we've been sort of studying this kind of small blind leading strategies for about like 2-3 years. It's been out there, and then I think the last 50K hands, I just haven't seen anybody do it. And when I personally do it, like once in a blue moon, maybe a couple times in the sample, people just tend to freeze up, So that's
Yeah,
good, right?
exactly.
Because people tend to freeze up and then they kind of like tank, like they kind of like time down a bit and then they just do what their hand wants to do, which is very
Yeah.
good, So it kind of gives us EV from studying this spot, kind of
Yeah, but
understanding
imagine how
roughly
much
what we're
EV,
supposed to do,
yeah,
and then
how much EV you get from the spot, like let's say for example, the player could sometimes win the hand with ace king offsuit, ace queen offsuit, in general if we check, yeah. But if we bet big blind calls, like I assume your general player is never gonna find an all-in for 25 blinds with ace queen
with the right
offsuit, ace
bluffs,
king
yeah.
offsuit, ace check offsuit, Like I'm just saying, obviously they're gonna shove like over pairs, a 9, like a flush draw.
Top
Sure,
pairs,
sure.
kind of thing.
Yeah, sure. But they also need to go all in with the hand. Okay, maybe not all in, but basically they need to bluff raise the flop, not all in with the hand, like, for example, ace jack of
Ace
spades,
jack
ace
with
queen of
yeah.
spades. Yeah, of
Yeah, yeah.
spades, backdoor flush draw, two overcards, like ace king of spades. Yeah, like those hands are not easy to find for people, They
Mhm.
need to occasionally raise like pocket fives, with the diamond, They occasionally need to like basically they also need to find calls versus bet plus a call from the big blind with a hand like, queen ten of spades on a board like 9-4 deuce with two diamonds, Like he needs to like basically in position needs to float super wide, Like and that's also really good for our 9x block. Like imagine if he's never floating those hands, you're just chilling versus big blind, like your opponent needs to call queen jack offsuit with queen of diamonds, on the flop versus bet and a
Yeah.
call position, in
And
general.
that's where I think like a lot of the EV in poker now still comes from. It's like just us knowing the spot very well, and then the very broad mistakes, which we are pretty confident that our pool is making, and then we get to like just proceed, knowing that they're just missing a whole block of stuff, right?
Yeah, for sure, for
So
sure.
yeah,
That's why like having a lead is nice, yeah, but you just need to be able to identify like where does your advantage come from, Like when you're flatting like a bunch of, like suited hands pre-flop, but your opponent is opening offset 10x, big blind is defending offset 10x, big blind is defending a lot of suited hands, so the boards with the flush draw are a little bit less likely to be donked on, except like those ones that benefit our top pairs and give big blind like tons of gut shots and tons of straight draws that get ones.
all right, nice. Let's move on.
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure I shoved on the turn here.
Wow. Okay, that's
Yeah, I
no
would
equity.
bet.
Oh no, you didn't shove. Shoving the turn is a little bit no equity, I think. You also block a few folds.
Oh no, I checked the turn. It looks like.
Yeah, river would be a bad card for you, but I guess with your hand it's okay. And not really bad card because he's the big blind, right? So now it's not that bad. Yeah. So I would lead as well. I thought it was UTG, so I think pretty well played.
Wouldn't we want to go bigger there?
What are we? We are like the small blind, right?
Yeah, it was like 1-to-1 SPR. Yeah,
Yeah.
I
You can probably
think, like,
shove, yeah.
Also, the turn when check just like seems really
Seems
really
nice to
too
shove,
small.
right? With our bluffs
Yeah.
as well as our top pair.
Wait.
Because we're gonna have like gut shots, jack eight that we let the flop with that we can now shove. He's gonna be under a lot of pressure with a
That's
7, a 10.
it's so weird, like basically this hand played upside down, and you make a top pair, and like I think it's like really nice to actually go all in because it makes no sense for you to have a king, really.
Yeah, you also went big
Yeah.
on the flop, right? So he's kind of face up as like a 5, a 7 or a
Yeah,
10.
he was
kind of,
thinking you
once
have
he
a
checks the
10 or
turn.
a draw. Yeah,
Yeah,
like he
yeah.
was thinking like you have a 10 or a draw.
Yeah,
and
you're
then
only
on the
kind of
river.
losing to king 7, king 10, and you kind of block that, so it's kind of nice.
Yeah,
That's
I
also
think it would be
that's
nice.
the top. That's something that I learned some many time ago from Matt Affleck's webinars that like when the turn goes check and then you're on the big blind, like there are so many situations where when you have a top pair, you just can go super big. You can even like go over bet in many of the situations there because like people just don't have enough of top pairs that really do anything to
Yeah,
you
to
anymore.
defend, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
you will just make so much more money. So if the turn goes check and these check lines don't go quarter or there's no need to block bet anymore.
Because it's against the big blind. It's against the big blind. But this one's a bit weird because we're out of position with the small blind.
Yeah,
But
that one was
I get
that
what
one
you're
was a
saying.
weird, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
A little bit
But this
weird
one, I think 9-7. I think having the 9 and the 7 against a short stack, you don't really want to 3-bet here. You just want to fold. I think
Yeah, out of
you
line,
block. Yeah, very out of line in the sense of like you want to think about when he's opening, he's gonna open stuff like A7 suited, King 9 suited, Queen 9 suited, Jack 9 suited, and with 9-7, you kind of did block all his folds. And you don't really want to have the 9, I think.
It is.
And
It is
also it's
like
like, yeah.
it is actually weird, because like you can actually like look at these hands, and if you don't get punished, in terms of like like if they all go through very well, yeah, it might seem like it's a good play, like in terms of like if there is like
Yeah,
a
yeah.
high success rate, yeah.
I
Like
mean,
I
if
think
yeah, like
yeah.
exploitatively against people that just overfold everything and they only shove like ace queen, ace king, then probably you can 3-bet like almost very super out of line.
But where I would do it, I would be out of line from the big blind versus button and cutoff, and from
Yeah.
button versus cutoff. Like that one I would really like, but versus UTG, like I think it's just not worth the investment. You're if they're gonna overfold, it's gonna be like by a slight margin.
Yeah.
From
You also
UTG.
run the risk of running into like strong hands behind you when you have 3 ranges left to act, so it
Yeah,
just
and your
becomes
hand doesn't block anything. Well,
this seems
like
like
for
a 3-bet,
example,
yeah.
yeah,
3-bet.
this one would be really nice, like, and that would be like a much like better spot. You would make like let's say for example, you would make like a big blind, or two
Yeah.
big blinds. Let's say for example, 0.01 or 0.02. Yeah, I think that one is worth a little bit more than the previous two that we used, like 5-4 suited, 9-7 suited.
Yeah, this one also like you 3-bet a 54 blinder, so he's gonna be opening pretty wide, covers the rest of the table, and his chance of you shoving on you light is not that high. It's kind of deep, so ace 9 just
Definitely.
plays very well as a 3-bet this pre-flop. Yeah.
Yeah, and most importantly, like he does fold. Well, seven.
Whoa, this is ACR, the classic ACR experience. The 6-7.
Yes. For a really really long time, like you can see that on ACR. Yeah, that's crazy. Like 6-7 offset, he just launches in.
This memeing, yeah.
Yeah. Interesting for sure. Like what happened in his head? I just try to imagine like what needs to
He got
happen.
tired of one tabling. He wanted to go.
A double upper go.
Keats yelling
Yeah.
6-7.
Yes, man.
Yeah. With all wow.
Brain rot.
Wait.
Okay, can just go all in here probably.
This was like very interesting, because like I would actually be a little bit hesitant, like two ranges go all in, yeah. But probably like I guess like you can imagine the second guy having jacks or ace king, right? Maybe, yeah.
I mean, his range is probably like 10s plus
But it's
sometimes.
ACR, I guess like you can see
Yeah,
fucking pocket fours and
kings,
ace 10 suited in.
I mean, we
Yeah.
beat some value, so I think we can just go. It's not
Yeah.
that deep. Queens.
It
If we had like
was
jacks,
like
it would be tough.
yeah, it was like it was actually 16 and the second guy had 35.
30, and he flatted with half left behind. So usually, I think that's a sign of weakness, to be honest.
We got to be getting close to the bubble. That's why I folded out.
Which one? Oh, okay.
I folded ace 7 from.
Okay.
Yeah, but actually, like you should go back and even if it was for example, let's say
Close to bubble. I think you can open, no? Because
no, you should actually open because you're on the cutoff. Even if you
you
did
cover
not,
everyone. Yeah,
even if you did not cover everyone, you should open
correct.
this time.
It's a
Yeah.
clear open, so you don't have to be afraid because you have a good blocker. If Trustchino jams, you have an easy call. If anybody else jams, you can just fold. This is just a very good steal. Seems very good.
Like for example, flatting here, like let's say for example, if you say it's close to bubble, I would actually not flat here, but just re-steal my hand from this small blind. If
Just
I
jam,
decided
right?
to play it. Yeah, if I decided to play, because my logic would be like, let's say for example, he opens like Queen Jack suited, King 10 suited, those type of hands. Like in
Yeah.
GPV, obviously you call, right? In chippy V, yeah.
Yeah, chippy V,
But I
we
think
want to
if
see
it's
that.
not chippy V, yeah, you can make him fold a lot of hands like King Jack suited, Queen Jack suited, Ace 10 suited,
Oh yeah,
all
plenty
these
of like strong hands. And
medium
then
hands.
against a hands like eights, you just can flip. It's pretty good.
Yeah,
Against
yeah.
ace king, you
If
have
I
like 40.
decided
Yeah,
to play this hand, yeah.
play.
But in general, what you want to do is like use like good blocker hands. An ace, a king, and maybe a little bit
Yeah.
of Jack 10, Queen Jack, a little
Yeah,
bit.
we can fold this one as well if we, don't have to play on the bubble.
Like I personally
OP.
would have, I would not have played it versus that position, but versus a bit later positions, I would be super happy, to re-steal. And this is also really good. Yeah, you see, we opened this one, yeah, but this one was a bit worse, even though it's a
Then
good
the
open.
A7,
But
yeah.
yeah, but this one we had a button with 100 big blinds, which is like, a bit more interesting.
Yeah. I personally, King 3 would have been a bit afraid of the 100 big blind guy, especially he's just joined the table, so I'm not sure how he's gonna play. I have a very bad blocker with the 3. If I flop a top pair, against him, it might not be great.
Yeah,
So I'll be a bit more careful there.
a bit more
Ooh.
careful. Yeah, for sure. But it's still like a fine open, test your table, right? Yeah.
Just put him to the test, kind of. Yeah.
Yeah. Like you test him out a little bit, yeah, and then you kind of, if he 3-bets you, then you're like, okay, let's.
Yeah, I mean, one thing is that like kind of like no lock ranges in theory. Like if you just like assume that the rest of the table is going to be playing a little bit more passive, then suddenly a hand like King 3 suited just becomes pretty profitable to open, if you
Definitely, because they are not
Yeah.
3-betting enough suited
Yeah.
king X's, suited
That
ace
is true
X's.
for sure.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's gonna work out really good for you.
I haven't expanded in normal so much, but I can tell that what happens in PKO is it works very well to like you can open so much crazy more when table is passive and you cover everyone, and especially if you cover a lot, like it's like you're just not getting punished.
If you have a huge chip lead in PKO and your BPIP is like not 40-50%, then you might be doing it a bit wrong, sometimes.
Yeah, I agree.
When you have a huge chip lead, yeah.
I agree.
I've seen
I
Fear the
agree.
Reaper go like 60% VPIP, 70%
Yeah,
VPIP.
every suited just open every suited.
This is like 4-3
gapper.
suited early position that's open because you're supposed to play a lot of hands, so people tend to be a bit even me, like, I'm not don't have a huge hard on for opening 8-5 suited super early position, but you're supposed to do it, kind of.
Yeah, it's 10-7, it's 10-7 suited UTG8 can be done.
Yeah, for
Okay,
sure.
so
When you're
here
covering.
on this turn, I don't think we have much bets here on
Yeah,
an
I think you
eight
have to check it.
because
I think you're supposed to check it back.
BVB, right?
BVB limp pot, so we don't have much aces, and he has a bunch of them.
I mean, we have third pair.
We have all the aces, right?
Wait, what happened? He limped.
We checked, right? So we have.
No, I mean, we don't have all the aces if we checked, right? Because we're gonna raise most of it.
We're gonna raise the good ones, yeah. That means
the good
like
ones, yeah. We're gonna check back some of the lower ones.
Yeah, probably like ace-7 suited plus will be the raise. Yeah.
So I think the
ace-7
ace might
suited
be
plus.
better for him because if you look at his range real quick, then he's gonna have like
He
some
has
more
traps.
limps with ace queen, ace jack, ace 10, a little bit more than us for that matter.
Yeah, and also like keep in mind, yeah, that this board is actually like really good for the limper. He connects a lot of middle parts, and when we size up the flop, yeah, we actually like it's actually like a big problem when we do size up the flop. Yeah, basically what we are doing, we are polarizing a range. What value shifts from, like, let's say for example, from a 9 to a jack plus, when we go like b66 or b75 on the flop, yeah. And that means like on the turn, let's say for example, if we decided to bet, yeah, we would bet like really large, like a geometric bet sizing, with a hand like 2-pair plus, and obviously bluffs. And this hand doesn't fit the line at all. Yeah, so this would be like where we like actually lose a lot of EV, yeah, and like our story doesn't make sense. We said like we have a jack and better on the flop, and then on the turn on the ace we are still happy to bet a
How did
jack.
we ever get on the flop? We bet 1.3.
It was 2 point something. 2.3,
yeah. So we went kind of 40%.
Yeah.
No, it's not
40+%.
40%. It's 2.3.
Oh no, sorry. It was it's a limp pot, so my bad. It was like 66%, right?
Something
It's not terrible here, actually. With this,
pretty big.
with this
Yes.
coordinated board, it's maybe not.
I
terrible.
understand. Yeah, but you don't want to bet an ace with the queen 9. Like it's definitely not. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
not
I'm
gonna work.
looking at it in GTO Wizard. The flop, we can mostly check, but we can sometimes bet a little bit bigger with because he's gonna defend like all the 9x, all the 7x still,
Exactly. A lot of gut shots, a lot of straight draws,
you get
but
some
on the
protection. You get some protection against something like a queen six, of hearts, 10-5,
Mhm.
where if you go a bit smaller, then he's gonna float a lot of these
For sure.
strong hands. So that's okay on the flop, and then on the
On
turn,
the
it's just a very pure, very clean check. We shouldn't be betting hand like a 9 here. Almost all our 9x will mostly want to check. You can turn 9-8 into like a mergy bet, You can turn something like a
bluff.
weaker 9. You bet
What
something like 9-8 and he
sizing?
folds 9, he folds king 9, queen 9. So that's kind of like an interesting play that I think people don't do as much. But queen 9, our kicker is just so good that we just want to like just check back and then see the river,
Yeah, and
What
honestly,
sizing is 8-9 using? Is it like a big bet, right? Six
Yeah,
big
you
bet, yeah.
blinds.
can bluff it. You can bluff it on the turn with like a B100, or even a B150.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just
makes
to make
sense.
9x fold. If you go small, it doesn't do anything, just holding out worse.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
so
And
yeah,
as
you need to
played,
be.
like, even though like I would never play this hand like I played, yeah, but as played, like I would be like very inclined, to bluff the river versus a small lead on a diamond. Even though
Oh,
like I would not arrive here with this hand, yeah, but I'm just saying like if I
all in, yeah.
decided, yeah, if I decided, like I'm just saying like his hand looks a lot like, a hand like ace 10, ace 8, blocking, the river to not call a bigger bet. That's usually what recreationals do, they try to name their own
They try
price,
to milk, yeah. They don't want to call all in, so they just bet a
But
little bit.
obviously, like I understand, like making like blind v blind somebody fold an ace is a bit
It's not easy.
challenging. Yeah,
But
yeah,
it's an interesting play. I've done it quite a few
yeah.
times, and
Yeah, it
sometimes it
does
works,
work in
sometimes it
deep.
doesn't.
Yeah, it works deep in the money, where you have a lot of flushes. Obviously, here it's a bit harder, yeah, because we, bet this weird sizing on the turn. Yeah,
It
like if
works
we,
very works very well when you're out of not so much autopiloting and you know that the guy isn't the station.
No, I mean it's also like ICM. There's also like some ICM. Like people tend to not call down that wide in tournaments when they're near the money or they're in the money,
yeah,
Because
That's
people
true.
just like,
That's
yeah,
true.
there's
In
this,
general, yeah. In
yeah.
general.
and this is
Like
like actually
level one bluffs
interesting.
almost always fail to me, unless they're against a pro.
But
But like,
there are sometimes some crazy dudes BBB who just like they go time tank and then then they show you a 3.
yeah, when you bluff early on in a tournament and they start tanking, you kind of
Man,
know it's over.
these
You kind of know
guys.
it's like almost over. Yeah. So
Yeah,
what is
I
this?
was thinking about this hand, like why
Oh,
I personally would not raise it, yeah, because we have this beautiful overcard to the board, yeah, where if he's bluffing like Jack 9, Jack 8, Queen Jack O, King Jack O, all of these hands, like and we have the backdoor flush draw. I think like it's really nice to raise a hand like 5-9, 5-8, something like 5-6,
5-4,
5-4.
maybe 5-6. Yeah,
Yeah,
seems
those
pretty
ones.
good.
But
Yeah.
this one, like you just have a little bit too much of an equity to like raise and then fold versus a jam. That would be like a horrific outcome for us, with Jack 5.
Also, check calling. We just have the Jack overcard, so we don't need as much protection a little
Yeah,
bit, and
yeah,
then
for sure,
we
for
have
sure.
a lot of hearts. Just give us a very nice turn, and then I think a hand like if it had Jack 6, is just very good raise.
I mean,
Just to
I think like usually like what you want to have is an overcard to a 5 and the
Jack
overcard to a
4,
10.
Jack 6. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, like we
like
can see that the 5x we can do some raising, but mostly something that wraps around the straight because
yeah,
what
eight
you want to
five, seven
do,
five, six
yeah,
five. Yeah, that makes the sense.
you want to
Yeah.
check raise, and then if you have like a lot of cards that will help your equity, right? Because 8
Hmm.
5, any 6, any 4, any 8, any 9 is just very good,
Yeah.
But whereas you have Jack 5, and then you check raise, and all these medium cards kill your action, right? You check raise Jack 5, he calls, turn is a 6, bad card. Turn is an 8, bad card. Turn is a 9, not great,
Yeah,
right? So
not great. Yeah, for
yeah, so
sure.
we want to think about what's going to happen on the future nodes before we kind of throw in the race here. So I think this
Yeah,
kind of clean to just check call here with Jack 5. Yeah,
definitely,
but I
definitely.
like
And
the aggression, honestly. I mean, I think this
I think
playing
there's
high check
an
raise is always
upside.
good.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
an upside for playing.
Oh wow, crazy bluff.
Yeah, there's an upside to playing check raise. Yeah, like if your opponent is over bluffing the flop with the c bet small sizing, and he sends his good hands into a bigger sizing on 10-5-7 because 10-5-7 is a really natural board, to size up your 10x, your overpairs, good hands, like basically, when you have like a really good hand, you're usually gonna bet like big, because it's so easy to get the money. Yeah. Before the board changes, But once he bets small, I think it's nice to check raise a little bit more often, yeah, than the solver does, yeah. And then you just check the turn with range, which is weird, but that's how these spots often work, Obviously, this is not the board because it's going to change often, There's a lot of straight completers, flush completers, yeah, with the backdoor runouts, yeah.
I really like the river shove, to be honest. It's like we have bottom pair, it's like fifth pair, and it doesn't have really showdown, right? But at least it
That
blocks a
one's
set. And yeah, I like the shove somehow.
It's
I don't know like how I feel about that one because like imagine like if we raised, let's say for example we raised something, yeah, that was like a 10, we did not bet the turn with the 10 for like a value bet, yeah, and then we also did not bet our two pair plus suddenly, yeah. It is like a hard story to sell in my opinion, but obviously the river card was so good, that completed those couple gut shots, that maybe we gave up on the turn with that jack 5 suited spot, yeah, which is obviously
I think like these sort of spots, like when you go all in as a bluff, you want to think like if you did have a hand like what was it, Jack 8 was a straight or something, King Jack was a straight, then are you gonna shove those hands, right? Because if you're not shoving those hands, then your shoving range is pretty much very bluff heavy, in my opinion, right?
I definitely shove for value too.
Okay. So that's good. That you're balancing your bluff shot, your
it
value
seems like
shots.
we always have bluffs, like as you can see, like this hand also, like we did not bet the turn, right? If I saw it correctly.
Oh,
Yeah.
we triple.
We did bet the turn, yeah, on the diamond with King Jack. Again, like this is also very interesting. You know why? Because like there are a lot of natural hands to double barrel. It would be like a lot of equity, like less equity hands or more equity hands. And then I'm thinking, like, do we actually want to bet fold King Jack offsuit, which is a double gutty plus 2 overcards? Because let's say, for example, if we do bet, yeah, we need to be able to either bet call or bet fold. But this hand, I don't know, dude. Like, do you actually want to bet fold double gutty plus 2 overcards? I don't know.
No, you don't really want to do it, but I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm just trying to imagine. Like,
I felt like
what
I felt like it picked up equity, so I continued.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying, like, is it better to bet Queen Jack or King Jack or King Queen, Like King Queen seems like, it's just a gutty. Queen Jack is an open-ender and King Jack is a double gutty. And then it's like, do we want to maybe we want to pick the suits, like King Jack with a 1 diamond betting, and then King Jack without a diamond. Maybe just checking back. But again, like I'm not sure, I'm just I don't know. Like I would personally be like interested in
Yeah.
looking it up.
Clear preference for when you have a diamond in your hand.
Yeah, but again, like I'm not saying it's a bad bluff. I'm saying like it maybe like we need to not bet every single one of them. Yeah. Again, like I think bluffing is so much more better. But then again, on the river, like the river is very interesting, because it completes the 10x of diamonds, 7x of diamonds, and you have like King Jack offsuit without the diamond, and then it's like, it's interesting, Like I would personally shut it down, but again, like maybe I'm a nit.
It was a 3 diamond, yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean I would never bluff like King Jack without the diamond.
Yep. You need
Yeah,
a
like
diamond.
I don't know, like it's very peculiar because like basically you need your opponent to fold something, like, and what is he gonna fold? Like, is he gonna fold like 9-8 offsuit with one diamond, 7-8 offsuit with one diamond? What do we think about it? Like, is he folding those?
I don't think so.
I don't know
I
too.
mean,
Like,
everything got there.
Kind
I
of a
mean,
clean run out for a 10 or a 9, right?
well,
Yeah.
it's actually not like super clean, you know, like we're not gonna shove every single 10 on the river when the backdoor diamond's complete. You know, we're gonna still check it back occasionally, even with an overpair without the diamond, you know. It's gonna be close, yeah, but like let's say for example, a hand like Jack 10 suited is never gonna shove the river. Like maybe Jack 10 of diamonds only. Yeah, okay, that's a flush, yeah, sure. But again, I'm just saying, like, imagine like if we like let's say for example, if we bluff every single King Jack O, King Queen O, Queen Jack O, you know, it becomes dicey because yeah, it's like a little bit awkward, you know. Obviously, like I think it's like a nice find if we had King Jack with the diamond, yeah, but without the diamond, like you can easily get called like 10 times in a row, you know, and you'll just lose a bunch of, you know, a bunch of potential EV that you could have avoided, yeah. And the river spot was interesting. Why? Because we still beat Queen Jack. You know, if we check back, we sometimes win, which is weird, you know.
Yeah, you want to bluff worse stuff, right? The queen 4, jack 4. Those get like better jacks to fold, better queens to fold, king eye to fold.
Yeah. But King Jack of Diamonds with King of Diamonds or like Jack of Diamonds, you know, it's like at least like, you know, you make him fold a hand like, you know, Queen 10 off, so it no diamond, you know. Maybe he folds that one on the river, you know. Maybe he folds a hand like 9-8 off, so it no diamond, 7-8 off, so it no diamond, you know. That's why like I guess the preference to diamond is like a little bit important, you know, a little bit important in like these particular river spots, you know, like in at least like in general, like you need to think about it, and then like you need to say like, well, I bluffed this one because I think he's gonna always fold a one pair hand like a 9 or a 7. Maybe then you can, you know, adjust the simulation, yeah, and see like what happens if he's folding every single 9 and 7 on the river. Because like I don't expect
Yeah.
people to fold a 10, you know, that's reasonable calling hand, you know. So yeah, that would be like interesting to see, you know, if there is any adjustments we can make, you know, because like that bluff might be good, you know, but it might be like really bad, you know, because like, you know,
I think I
it's
fold this.
What's the floor here? Because I think I would call here because he's supposed to have a bunch of a6, a bunch of like small pairs, hands like king queen, king jack.
yeah, I think you can fold a6 offsuit, a7 offsuit, that's okay. But then
Yeah.
you call ace9 and you
Yeah.
call like suited aces. You know, you call like ace7 suited, ace8 suited, like ace5 suited, you know, because I think the price is just a little bit too good. If he had like 12 big blinds, I would already be like not super inclined to call.
How deep are we in the tournament here?
We
Probably
have
pretty deep,
we
yeah,
probably
because it's big blind.
busted the bubble by now. Yeah.
It's like
So,
big blind 20K. Yeah, it's probably like somewhere around like in the money already, definitely. Yeah.
okay.
Maybe like 30 people left, maybe like 40 people, maybe like 60, but definitely, yeah, like this is the spot where like it all depends how much chips he has. Like if the price is like 10 big blinds, ace9 becomes a call. When it's like 15 big blinds, definitely a fold, yeah. So I guess the line is between 10 and 15.
All I didn't agree with is basically you said a7 suited should call. I'm not sure. A7, a6 suited. I would
Because of the equity, it's
probably,
because of
yeah, I
the
would
added
probably
equity.
stop at ace8 suited when I call like ace9 offsuit in these spots.
Yeah, if it's like early position, I think like you fold the ace7 suited, but here it's like hijack. Yeah, I imagine like from the hijack covering everyone, we probably open around like 36-ish%, like between 36 and something, you know, like, and ace9 off, so it is just in the top, like, and the ace7 suited also is in the top of the range, you know, because we will have a lot of hands like king 6, king 5 suited, queen 8 suited, we will have king 10 o, king 9 o, you know, we will have queen 10 o, queen jack o, in terms of like, you know, when we cover people, yeah. So I would say like the best thing is here, obviously number one, we should be opening wide enough, yeah, but we cannot be then folding like all of our range, right? Imagine like if we open like 36, yeah, and then we fold like overfold by like 2 pips, like I think that's gonna not allow our profitable wide range to open, you know, if we are folding and not taking off the regions. And obviously like why ace-7 suited is so good, you know, from the big
Make
blind,
that
yeah.
8. Make the big blind minimum 8. Because I'd like to see it an 8.
Yeah, I'm just saying like we are gonna open from the hijack position. Sorry, yeah, I think hijack or cutoff. We were like whatever it is. Yeah, I think we were on the hijack if I remember correctly.
Yes.
Yeah, and basically what ends up happening is like we have a lot of chips, yeah, and it's just worth for us to open super wide, you know, around like 36% ish. Like, and then your opponent is jamming, yeah, and why the ace-7 becomes a call? Because you have so much weaker hands from the offsuit block that you don't have. Let's say, for example, if you open tight, you know, when you don't open offsuit 10x, offsuit like Queen Jack O, you know, you don't open like many offsuit aces, yeah. I'm just saying, like, it all depends, you know. It all
I
depends
agree.
how wide, yeah,
But,
how wide
Oh,
you go
yeah.
pre.
but what you're seeing here is basically like the ace-2 suited, ace-3 suited, ace-4 suited is all folding, and ace-6 suited was also, yeah, mixing.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, but basically you want to have enough equity, yeah, and also like you want to be flipping versus their pocket pairs, you know, like ace-7 suited flips versus 3s, 4s, 5s, 6s, you know,
True,
ace-7
yeah.
suited still beats a little bit of ace-4 suited, ace-5 suited, you know, that big blind might occasionally go all in with, you know. I think it was a good spot to call it off with ace-9, yeah, but if it was like 15 big blinds, I would definitely fold, yeah. So that was interesting, you know, because like we did open wide enough, yeah, and we might have missed a little bit of EV, you know, towards the call. Because here, as you can see, we opened again, yeah, with a hand that is actually, you know, really close because yeah, it was from the hijack again, I think, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And
no,
I'd probably call this, to be honest with you.
The cutoff, I think, because the button has no chips. So I think the
Oh,
Jack
it was
7 we
from the
open and
cutoff.
yeah, we
Yeah.
open cutoff and then we get jammed on the
I
5.5
see,
and then
I see.
I would just call it off, you know, because we call I think almost any two.
Well,
Virtually any
that
two.
is true, but the question becomes like, is this a profitable open from the cutoff into 2 jam stacks and equal big blind stack? Like, do we need Jack 8 suited or Jack 7 suited is good enough? Like, that's the
Yeah,
question
it seems
I would
close.
ask
It seems
myself.
close. Yeah,
Yeah,
for
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Just
But I still
because
think it's fine. Yeah, I think it's still fine. It's definitely a lot better than, you know, folding every single like 0 EV
yeah,
open.
like
You know?
overfolding, yeah.
Yeah. Like you
Yeah, I
kind
think
of like you open and then you adjust, you know. Like you
Yeah.
just need to look it up. If it's a good open, you continue opening. If it's a fold, you just go 1 pip wider, you know.
Interesting turn barrel. I kind of like it, I think, on the ace.
Yeah, makes sense to me.
We just keep betting with a lot of stuff. Checking
I
also
was
seems
I was
okay.
just asking like would you have 2 bet sizes there? Like I'm just
Uh,
thinking to myself when the turn card changes, yeah. Like let's say for example on the flop we have top pair, yeah, and then on the turn we have top pair from the ace x block, and we have second pair from the king x block. So I would probably have 2 bet sizes. You know, I would have one that it's bigger, you know, and one that it's smaller. So my bigger bet sizing would be 2/3, yeah, like 5 big blinds, yeah, and my smaller bet sizing actually would be third pot. But I don't know if it's that good, you know. Like I would say like it's fine-ish, you know, because the big blind player versus under the gun is not gonna float offsuit ace-x on the flop. So maybe like you kind of want to make him call with an 8 and a 6, and how do you do that? Probably by going a
smaller,
little
yeah.
bit smaller.
Yeah. So my
Yeah.
thought my thought here, and tell me if I'm wrong, it's fine, but I felt like I was barreling the turn and checking back the river.
I think with your range on the ace, given how strong
Yeah,
your
I think
range
you
is,
need to bet. You
you
need to bet
yeah.
every single hand in your range. I think
you
that
can
would
bet
be a good
range,
adjustment.
right?
Yeah.
Because
yeah.
I'm
On the
thinking like,
river?
what's my checks on the turn, right? Because we looking
Oh.
at the turn strat, and we have a very dominating situation here. So even our bluffs, right? Let's say 10-9 suited, queen 9 suited, like jacks, tens. I can I can think like a very profitable strategy is just to bet everything, right? Because
Yeah, and then
he's
just use
gonna
two bet sizes. Yeah, just have two
yeah.
bet sizes. Don't have a one. Yeah, like you
So you can go
basically
a bit
split.
smaller with something like jacks,
And also,
and all
I
that.
think like you also want to go smaller with a hand like pocket aces and with a hand like
Oh yeah,
pocket
yeah,
kings.
sure.
You know,
The
like
stuff that
those
has the
ones.
board under the lock, right? You don't need to go so
Yeah,
big with ace king, pocket aces, stuff like that. Pocket kings maybe.
yeah,
So
that would be
I think you
interesting.
can
And I see
yeah.
him.
So
Yeah,
with your hand, James, I think obviously you have showdown value. So betting the turn, you're not gonna get three streets. So just bet the turn, and then most rivers you can just have an easy check, right? But
yeah,
you
it's
might
actually
wanna
very interesting. Yeah, like when
yeah,
you
you
bet
might
the
wanna
turn
bet
for
something like 10-9 on the river all in, and then bet your aces, your ace king, your ace queen all in as well. And then your king queen would just go into like a checking node where you're gonna check mostly and then bluff all your non-showdown hands
I
and
have a
go all in.
question.
Yep.
How would you, if you have two bet size, how do you distinguish how to pull the bluffs from?
Okay.
In that,
So
in that,
I think like
can you take up the board? I was muted. I muted myself and I forgot that I
oh.
muted myself.
yeah, I have a
Just
I have a
asking.
good idea of what hands I want to bluff, but let's hear it from Alex.
Yeah, like
Because
basically, like usually, like you want to split them around the hands that block like the most value and like interact the least with the board. Like let's say, for example, it was like I think it was King 8 6
Can you
ace,
take
right?
pull? Can you
King
pull
H
the hand?
ace, King 8 6 ace 2 spades with the ace
Yeah,
8
yeah,
spades.
yeah, yeah. Like basically, once you do block their best king excess and best ace excess, yeah. Like let's say, for example, the only ace X he can reasonably have, like that is not a two pair, is going to be like probably like ace jack suited, ace ten suited, yeah. So if you are bluffing with a hand like, let's say, for example, jack ten offsuit, yeah. Like for example, with a hand like queen jack offsuit, yeah, those hands usually prefer to go smaller because you have the
Mm,
additional gut shot equity. Like that would
yeah.
be my assessment, yeah. And they actually block like them from having the ace jack suited, ace queen suited, yeah. And like let's say for example, if you have like a like let's say for example you have a hand like pocket fives, pocket sevens, I think those hands actually prefer to go bigger, most of the time because you actually want to put the most available pressure on the
King
king
X.
x 8x and
So,
6x. Like that would be my
so if you
assessment,
have
but
like
again, yeah, go
if you
on.
have like nine, ten of spade, if you have like nine, ten of spades here,
I
are
think we
you
go
betting like two
small.
and a
Yeah,
half?
we're going
Yeah.
just smaller,
Queen
smaller.
Jack, 9 10 of spades, you can go a bit smaller because you have added equity, right? Because you're
Yeah,
not
and the fold
yeah, you're
equity
okay
will
with
be
them calling an
larger.
8, calling a 6, and then you can hit the river. So a
Yeah.
hand like maybe 10-9, I have a gut shot, I can go a bit smaller, but
I
something
think it's
like
a little
Queen
bit
Jack,
different, yeah, if the
yeah.
turn is not an ace. If the turn is like, let's say, for example, a hand, a card like a queen, then you will not and a check back, and you're not going to bet whole range, you're still going to have some check backs, with hands like pocket jacks, pocket tens, pocket nines, and eight,
I feel
something.
like the intuition it's pretty complex, like because intuitively I would think that when I can turn more equity, I would like think more of like putting this into the bigger size, not the
Yeah,
small.
it's true, it's
But
true,
when you
it's true.
explain it, it like kind of makes sense because yeah.
Yeah, it's
Because the main
intuitive, right?
target
Yeah.
is not, yeah, the main target on the turn is not like a king, The main target is an 8 and a 6, because 20 big blinds effective, a good king on the flop is a pretty reasonable check raise on the flop, like king, queen, king, jack, for the
Yeah.
player who defended the big blind, yeah. And the same applies for hands like king eight, for a hand like 8-6 suited, for a hand like pocket sixes. Those hands are check raising the flop at a decent frequency, for value. Yeah, obviously. And like, let's say, for example, you have a hand like 10-9, they still might have a hand like, queen jack of diamonds, the check called like B25 on the flop, which is totally reasonable, and then you bet like 10-9 suited, for a like 33% sizing, like one of these like smaller bet sizings, and they just fold queen high, they fold a six, obviously, like there is a little adjustment to be made when the flush draw comes in, because you need to also understand that 6x of spades and king x of spades is inelastic. No matter what you're gonna bet, he's gonna call. So yeah, like there's no like no big reason to go super duper large. Obviously, in chippy V, like you're gonna be like totally fine to bet like geo sizing. You're gonna use like one sizing and one sizing only. But in ICM, like when you bet on the ace big, you also need to get paid when you have it, right? That means like sometimes you're gonna size down to make him call. When you have like hand like pocket aces, you size
What
down, he
is the
calls.
what is the adjustment when people under check raise the king X?
Well, I think personally on the ace, it's gonna be like a little bit more fold equity on the river card, like they're gonna have a little bit more king x offsuit, king queen o, king jack o, king 10 o that calls the turn and then folds the river. So you can make an adjustment, to bluff a little bit more on the rivers because there are more offsuit king x bluff. But again, like I would personally assume like that is true, like for 30 big blinds and more. But when they are like 20 effective, I still think people will raise king queen and king jack,
That's true.
and
Yeah.
pocket sixes and 8-6 and king eight,
Yeah, it's definitely like I think people are passive, but they're not as good as like in they don't have it so much as like GTO does, but they are more aware with like 20 bigs to do check
Yeah,
raise the king
like
X
I think
flop.
like in general, like a normal person, yeah, who plays like normal poker, will have a check raise on the flop in general around like 10%, the people who are a little bit better will have like around 15, yeah, and the most like really good elite players will have a check raise on the flop in general across all textures around 20%, because they also expand their value. Because here, like for example, in ICM, yeah, like we bet small, he's supposed to check raise a hand like 6-7, 6-5, 6-9 suited. Some of those hands mix around like a little bit of check raising with 8-7 suited,
Yeah.
8-9 suited, because he sometimes like his 6x just makes us to fold on the turn, versus second barrel we're gonna fold a hand like tens, jacks, queens. We're gonna fold in like a hand like I don't know, like eight, ace eight suited. On the turn five, he double barrels 6-7, we fold an ace eight, we fold nines, tens, jacks, queens. But we still gonna like the beautiful part about this spot is because we check raise small with the 6-7 suited. In position player will float a hand like ace jack suited, ace queen suited, a hand like pocket nines, pocket tens, and then like there is still a little bit of value from each side. A 6-7 suited will make fold better hands later on, yeah. But on the flop you get called by worse hands, which is yeah, it's interesting, definitely. Yeah. So like having two bet sizes, I think it's totally reasonable, like in my opinion. Yeah, like
The-
having two bet sizes.
The main thing you need to realize is we're betting everything, right? So it's just easy to split our range in that sense because we're just not checking anything. So we just our medium value, we just kind of bet smaller,
And
and then
why it's
yeah.
also nice in ICM to bet a little bit more, because once you cover your opponent, actually like your opponent is not supposed to defend like a hand like king six offsuit pre-flop, versus UTG,
Yeah.
and a hand like 8-6 offsuit. So there is not so many two pairs, yeah, in general. Obviously you might say like, oh, he's bad player, he defends chippy V all his life in every single spot, yeah. But you cannot say that before you see it, like. But in general, like you assume like
Situational.
like a bad hand pre-flop will fold deep in the money, like close to the final table, yeah. So I personally would use 2 bet sizes. I don't know about you guys, but I would use 2 bet sizes. I would have a
I
small
like
bet
it, yeah.
sizing, yeah, and a medium bet sizing, But you definitely should bet range. I love betting range, yeah.
Oh, interesting. I thought it would use 50 and 100.
No, I think it's just kind of geo, right?
It's
To go
just,
60.
it's just a little bit too big to go pot,
Yeah.
because
Because
the
of stack sizes, right?
yeah,
You're,
25
you're also
effective.
betting everything, right? So when you're betting like your entire range, like going pot, already doesn't really gel with that strategy, right?
Yeah,
Because
for
you're betting
example,
every
this
single
It can
hand, you can't
happen,
just
but
pot
it can
everything.
happen in chip PV.
It can happen in chip PV. Maybe that's not the right example, but I think the idea is that 66 is just good enough to go all in.
I would
geo.
I would mark this hand as a clear mistake in my opinion. 10-9 suited. 10-9
Oh,
suited.
did
I think personally I would not open this hand from the low jack position into like 5 jamming
all
stacks.
the
Yeah. Like it just means like our blockers are not relevant, to an opening range. I would open a hand like ace-9 offsuit, ace-10 offsuit, a hand like king-queen-o, king-jack-o, those type of hands instead of 10-9 suited.
What about like,
We'll be closer
what
to a
about
jam,
like,
right?
so what's the bottom of your suited? Because are you looking for like
bottom of the
queen
suited
jack
would
suited?
be something like queen-10 suited, queen-jack
Yeah.
suited, yeah, king-9 suited, something like
So you
that.
want something with a blocker.
What
I don't know,
Basically,
Alex
high cards matter, right?
I
That-
think
that's
Yeah,
I
all.
high
think
cards.
I think what Alex is trying to explain is stuff changes when it's
a
if
lot of
we
jamming
would-
stacks,
if
yeah.
we would think about uneven stacks in ICM.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I make this mistake as well, probably opening a bit too wide here with the 10-9. Just
Yeah,
because
like usually what you want to do is like you want to open like let's say for example if you did want to open like 10-9 suited, with 15 big blinds, yeah, like there should be like maybe like a medium stacks behind us, yeah, like a stack like 30, 29, 20, then we can open with 15 big blinds, 10-9 suited and make a little bit of EV. But if there are like 4 reshove stacks, yeah, then 10-9 suited, jack-9 suited, queen-9 suited is not good. But a hand like king-9 suited is good. A hand like ace-9 offsuit, ace-10 offsuit, king-jack offsuit, king-queen offsuit, those are much better than 10-9 suited, It just depends, like in my opinion, like, and like that's from what I have seen, with a lot of reshove stacks, blockers do become a bit better, yeah, and you also want to have a bit more equity, when you do decide to open. So yeah, that would be my assessment from the low jack.
So we had like 15 big blinds. Are you gonna start doing that? And it was like 12 effective, right? Or was it 10 effective, something like that?
Yeah, like basically if they had like more big blinds behind you and there was no like reshove stacks, yeah, then I would open your hand and say that's a good open, if they all had like 25, 30, big blind had like 25, small blind had like 25, like that would be okay, yeah. But once they are so short, yeah, the threshold for them stacking off because like they are not risking like running it 25 effective versus each other, so they can jam. They don't need to only 3-bet non-all in, But if the other stacks are deeper, yeah, like you start opening like 10-9 suited, it's okay, because they're not going to jam all in with the hand like pocket sixes for 30 big ones, from the hijack, yeah. So
that
like
makes sense. So our line is 25, or are we looking for like 20?
no, you can have 15. You just need them to have more, like you can have
you don't want them to
15.
rejam. You don't want them to have the easy rejam
Yeah,
because then we lose a lot of EV when we raise fold.
The issue is other stacks how they are related to your position.
Uneven stacks is difficult, man. So definitely lots of
Yeah,
lots of
especially
things
like
to look at.
yeah, especially like these type of scenarios. Like it might seem like not a big deal, you lost an open, but the real deal is like you lost an open and then suddenly you don't have full equity in the next time you're all in, like
gotta be
for 8.
accurate, yeah.
Yeah.
So let's call this one, I think.
Yeah, I think I probably do call this. I
You
don't.
fold
Yeah,
queen
I think
9,
so.
you call queen 10, this is the floor.
I think queen
Yeah.
nine might get it in as well. Like we have only 8
For
bigs, right?
eight
So
big blinds with queen nine, yeah. I guess it's
yeah,
okay.
we have
Yeah.
only 8 bigs. I think queen nine you still have to call, yeah. Depending on ICM,
Yeah.
of course. But
It
in Chippy
seems
V, probably easy call, yeah.
I think
Wow.
like for eight, like you have to call, right?
Yeah. I think pretty wide.
Actually, like for 7 big blinds, we are calling even queen five offsuit and every
Yeah,
single offsuit king.
I
Yeah,
think like
so
Chippy V can be really wide there, but
yeah, with a
but
bit
with
of ICM, we've
ICM,
just
it's like
adjusted
I
up a
guess
little
with
bit.
I
So
guess with
I mean,
eight, it's still fine.
it's crazy, Red. I was overfolding. Like, look at this one. This is like 5% field left, yeah, and 7 blind jam. You know, we are supposed to call. Fucking hell! Like, we're supposed to
yeah.
call Jack 8 offsuit, Queen 5 offsuit, Queen 6 offsuit, King Deuce offsuit. Like, I was folding those hands for 7 big blinds deep in the
My
money.
last heads up, I folded king 7 for like 10 big blinds, and then the solver was calling like king 3.
Yeah,
Then I
yeah,
was like,
yeah.
oh shit, I shouldn't do that.
I guess like
you know,
I need
I
to
still
mark
won,
these
so
like open jam spots here.
yeah. God's big toe, yeah, we are aware, very aware of him. Old coach.
Oh yeah, the American player, right? Yeah. I
Mm-hmm.
have played it with him a lot on ACR. Yeah.
ACR, yeah.
Yes, ACR, my
I think
favorite side.
his
Yeah.
name is Sixes. Sixes on Discord.
Ah, okay.
No. God's big toe and sixes are different people, man.
Different guy, right?
Oh, okay, sorry.
They're not the same.
You're
I
Bob
thought
is
they're
like
the
trying to
same.
introduce the
They
guy,
they
and he
they're,
doesn't even
they're
know
for
who
sure
he
not
is.
the same
What is
people.
this, bro?
But I
You're like,
know
this is
that I see
player,
his
coach.
name.
He's also
Are
known
you
as
drunk?
Sixes, and then
Bob, are
just
you
like
drunk?
create a whole mistaken identity, you know?
They couldn't be more different.
They are very
But
different.
but I
Sixes is black
seen
You're not
his
also.
even like the
name.
same dude, you know?
Sixes is
Different
black
vibes.
also. So like I don't know
Oh
what
my
happened to
god,
God's big
man.
toe if they're same.
Oh
I'd
my
probably
god.
fold this. Yeah.
What happened?
I folded 10 jack to jam.
Okay. Ooh. 5s here, eh?
But yeah, this is kind of like, I don't know. Probably not the worst one.
I don't hate it because he made it big. Because 6.5, right? Like he made it. If he
6.5
went like
is crazy
it
big, you know,
feels
for
big
me.
to me. So when I see people go big, I kind of dial back on my
I
my
personally
rejams.
think like I personally would assume this is actually a spot when he makes it like 4.5, he has probably some folds, 5 maybe some folds, but this
Yeah.
seems like he is actually 3-bet calling
He's trying to
with
commit
the
himself, you know, a little bit too
yeah,
wide
with the
maybe.
linear range, like that would be like 9s plus or 8s plus, something like that, ace queen plus, something like that, those lines, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
But again, like I would actually pay attention in if I got some showdown when he's like doing this one with like queen jack off, then I would jam my entire
Yeah.
range.
He's
Yeah.
also haven't 3-bet much, so usually when people don't 3-bet much, I don't go crazy with the low pocket pairs, even though it might be good, but you don't have blockers, right? So I would rather go all in with like ace 5 suited, ace 4 suited, and 5s, you know, you might be drawing pretty slim against his value
Yeah,
range.
the
So
first, especially like the if you don't have additional information, you know, like if
yeah.
you had additional information that he's doing that with every single offsuit
Mhm.
Broadway, yeah, then 5s would be okay. Yeah, but
Yeah, but against a
otherwise,
small bet, against a 4.5, I've been consistently just going all in,
I
and
think
it's
4.5 has
working.
at least bluffs. Yeah,
Yeah,
for
it's
sure.
working very well personally because most of the time they just kind of fold, but even when they do, it's not a strong hand. Even when they
Agreed.
do call, it's like
Agreed.
ace queen or something. I don't know. Yeah,
I would
it's like
I
big
would
hand, big bet.
actually yeah, I would be a little bit I know it worked with this queen 6 of spades, yeah. But do we actually want to bet it on the flop? It's like I don't know, man. Like
Yeah, the
Are we
queen
getting
I'm
better
just
high.
queen?
saying,
We're getting better queens to fold, right?
but I
That's
think
true.
but I think actually the thing is like we want them to have spades and diamonds, you know, when we do decide to bet, right?
True,
And
true.
let's say for example, if I did decide to bet, my first candidates would be like queen 5 of spades and queen 3 of spades, you know, a gut shot, yeah. This one actually folds like queen jack off, blocks queen jack offsuit, queen 10 offsuit, like queen x of spades that will check fold at full frequency. Yeah. So I don't know if this is a bad adjustment, but I would actually delay bluff the spades, you know.
I'm looking at it in GTO, and it seems quite okay to bet queen six. Like it'll check queen jack, queen 10, queen 9, queen 8, and then queen 6. It's like 50-50, but
it's a
yeah,
six,
it'll go for a
maybe.
small size. You'll go for a small size. You won't go
Yeah,
for too big,
yeah,
you know,
I'm just
because
thinking
you don't have
like
much equity. You don't have much
it's a-
equity, and when you do bet, you're basically kind of just targeting you're targeting like queen 9 off, queen 10 off, you know,
yeah,
queen 8 off a little bit. So
interesting. Yeah.
it's not crazy, yeah.
But let's say, for example, if we have queen 7 of spades, do we bet it?
Queen 7 of spades, we pure check it. Just that queen 6,
yeah,
we have the added
double.
equity of the
Okay.
we have the added
3-5.
equity of the 3-5, yeah.
Six,
So queen
six
7 is a
can,
pure check, you know.
Oh, by the
six
way,
can,
Alex, do you
six can
offer
turn
private
red.
coaching?
Hmm?
Do you offer private
Yeah.
coaching?
Yeah, I've been doing that for many years, you know, and yeah,
Where
like if
can
anyone,
people reach you?
on Discord, I'm in the mid-high stakes MTT study group, and like yeah, people can easily reach out to me via Discord. You know, shoot me a private message or shoot me in there. You know, I'm coaching anyone who is interested in coaching, but obviously, like it depends. Like if the person is a professional or semi-professional, you know, it
Yeah.
all depends. Yeah. Like some people want to do a lot of coaching, some people want to do just one database review, you know, and I can do both for people in need. So
Very
yeah,
nice.
The 6x can turn runner straight, but the 7x won't.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
can. So
yeah,
that's a
yeah,
pretty big.
that's why
And also
I
you
asked.
block the 6 blocks a lot of calls, right? You know, because now his gut shots are not gonna check raise you as much. He's not gonna have a hand like you know, 8-6 or something that might do something on the flop, right? So added equity.
No, I
If
might
he,
call
yeah.
this off. I might call this off. It might be bad, but I don't know.
No, I think it's
I mean, the
pretty.
position seems to be like reasonably adjustment. You know, I'm just saying, like, if I was making a decision without knowing the solver output, yeah, my question would be, does he jam worse for value? You know,
Yeah.
like
And
when that's
he
the
jams
case,
ace-5, right? Maybe ace-5 suited.
Maybe he
I
three
would
bets
say like
those
King
for
queen.
yeah.
Might shove king
I
queen.
would say like the most important part is like ace 10 and king queen, you know.
Yeah, ace 10 would be the main hand. Like if you think he's always jamming ace 10, then you have to call, right? It's just
Yeah,
pure
like
maths
I think
at
it's a
that point.
reasonable call with ace jack because
Yeah.
and like when I don't know, yeah, like I would ask myself, would I call ace queen? Yes. Would I fold ace 10? Yes. So ace jack is in the middle. Would I call ace jack?
It's in the
Well,
middle, yeah.
It's
it's
Cuspy, right?
actually I think
It's Cuspy because
it's
here's
reasonable.
the thing is that you must think about his jamming range, right? So if he's not jamming
Ace
ace
10?
10, ace 5, then it's a bit rough because we're gonna run into a lot of ace king, ace queen,
Yeah.
pure, right? Because those are
Yeah,
pure jams, and then if our call is only like kind of going in against a bunch of like nines, eights, ace king, ace queen, maybe ace jack suited, then you know it's a little bit rough. But I'm not too sure. I mean, it's
like
Cuspy. I don't hate the call. Yeah.
I personally say like the it's actually because of the suited broadways, yeah, they will end up with, yeah, actually, like I I think like you know, like maybe like we are all overfolding a little bit, yeah, because in theory, like people are supposed to shove a hand
Queen
like
jack suited, king jack suited, king
queen
10
jack
suited.
suited,
Yeah,
queen 10, yeah, jack 10. They are
for
even
sure.
supposed
Yeah.
to they are even supposed to shove like suited aces, yeah. And if you look it up in the like the solver output, yeah, like you're supposed to call even a hand like ace 8 suited, ace 9 suited, ace 10 offsuit, you know,
I
in
think
solver output.
the problem is that in Solverland there might be even some jams with like stuff like King 5 suited, King 6
Maybe
suited.
not that
Probably
much.
not so wide, but because those,
Yeah.
you know, the solver won't go all in these positions,
Blocking
right?
folds, yeah,
But
blocking
I
folds,
agree
solver
that
will not
queen
go
jack
all in.
suited, queen 10 suited, you're gonna see some jams. King jack suited maybe for sure because it doesn't want to three bet fold. So ace jack definitely gonna do pretty okay. Nines, yeah, expected, and it's just a flip. So
No,
I think it's probably
the
a call, yeah.
jamming. I mean people. I mean the in position guy jamming. There are like in Solverland, there are like these even
King
having
five,
these
king
suited
six.
suited king X in sub 20 BB3s.
Really?
And like when people and even then we see these very like
I think
tight
those hands
calling
are
ranges,
actually
pretty tight calling ranges, but people are not really using these at all. So we're calling off against much tighter like jamming ranges.
I remember
Okay.
this guy, Cavs. You need to remember his
Okay.
name, Cavs. Okay, he is super aggressive and super loose. Okay, you need to remember that because that matters
All right.
later. It matters later on.
The context matters, yeah.
And what was the
Okay.
hand? What was the hand? What happened? Sorry, I missed it. We
Okay,
did what?
I think we
Raise pre.
raise BVB,
Okay, yeah, sure.
calls,
call the
check the
bluff.
flop, he bets,
Call small bet
seems
makes
okay.
sense. Yeah, makes
a lot of
sense.
sense. We still have a really strong hand, checks.
He goes check. Wow.
Yeah, river
I mean,
I would call him, I think, on the river, probably.
I mean, like you need to ask yourself, like, what is the most likely hand that he's actually playing like this, like from
Yeah,
the
I'm thinking
value
like
standpoint.
I'm thinking like a 5 or a 5 or 7, maybe
I
paired as
think
5 on the river.
five
Sorry.
would be
On
like
the turn, yeah?
super
To
thin.
check the
Like
back,
five would
yeah.
be super thin, you know, because we can easily have pocket sixes, pocket eights. And so I think it's like obviously it's either a bluff, yeah, or a hand like strong seven, you know. And usually like what you want to look at is your side cards, you know, if your side cards are reasonable blockers to value and unblock the bluffs, yeah, you're supposed to just pure call giving the pot outs. Like let's say for example you had a hand like I don't know like ace jack offsuit with jack of clubs, you know, you fold it. If you have a hand like ace king of hearts, you're pure calling. Like
Yeah,
you're
because
never
he's
folding.
never bluffing the king or the queen, because he's always just checking back. But the jack of clubs, he will like very high frequency bet the flop and then check back the turn with a bunch of draws, whatever, and then bluff the river because he only has like
Yeah,
jack eight high, you know. So with the queen, I think, you know, assuming he's not like he's gonna
he
play
can have couple bluffs,
yeah,
you know, with the queen that
queen
would be a
six or
hand
something,
like
but like,
yeah,
you know, it's still
queen
kind of
eight, yeah,
clean.
queen
And
six, yeah.
here's the bigger thing. I think the way that most people play is that if let's say we raise a hand like queen nine, and then we get this flop, right? So 9 7 3, we're not gonna check call the queen nine, right? So all our strong 9x, our strong 7x, we're mostly check calling or sorry, betting or check raising the flop. Right. So
Yeah.
when you check call the flop, you're kind of capping yourself a little bit, which is your hand is pretty strong, right? So when the turn and the river is like very clean, then I think this is like kind of one of the better hands that we can have. Like I can't foresee us having too many, you know,
Like I think the
way
better hand
better
is
hands,
ace
right?
king. Ace king is better.
Yeah.
Ace king is better, yeah.
And when you
So
have like when you have a hand like sixes, you know, check calling the river with sixes is not as good as having ace queen because the sixes would be a potential bluff card. So I think ace queen here is just like a very top of the range. You don't
yeah,
block his
and even
bluffs,
if
and
you
then
cannot decide, yeah, you just pick the suits that are more favorable for us to like let's say for example, if he's betting the flop in position, yeah, he's usually betting clubs or spades, yeah. Most likely people are checking hearts and diamonds, yeah. So once we have diamonds and hearts, like those ones become the best bluff catchers on the river because most likely he's bluffing the river with a hand that doesn't contain hearts and diamonds. Most likely.
yeah.
Obviously, there is little bit like caveat, like he can bluff like Jack 10 with a diamond and a heart, you know, or a hand like 10-8 with a diamond and a heart. Yeah, but that's like a little piece of the puzzle. Yeah.
One
So
more
I
big thing
would
is that
call
he's
this
only
hand.
betting half pot, right? On the river. He's not going pot
Price is good.
or B80. If he's going B80, you know, your price gets a bit worse. But if he's betting 50% of the pot on the river, you can fold like 25% of your range for MDF, and then you want to call most of your range still. So ace queen would be definitely top
Yeah,
75%,
and our
I think.
range is mostly what? Our range is what? Mostly like, you know,
Bunch of
a
ace
hand
highs, king
ace
highs, you
high,
know.
king high,
Yeah.
and like maybe jack high, sorry, queen highs would be like queen jack suited, yeah, and queen ten suited, yeah. So on the river, the first candidate that we fold is queen high. Second candidate that we fold is king high.
King high, yeah.
And the third candidate is like ace high. So I think like the best folds would be ace 10 suited, ace 8 suited, yeah, those type of hands, yeah.
10
And
and
the
8 are
best
pretty
call,
bad, yeah.
yeah. And the best call would be ace king suited, definitely calling 100% of the time. And ace queen suited seems like close to 100% of the time we are calling versus a medium bet sizing when the best hand they are representing is like a hand like queen seven, ace seven, king seven, those type of hands.
Yeah.
Especially like if he's aggressive, if he's aggressive, that means he will have a bunch of stabs on the flop that are super easy to overbluff on the river, containing like every single like jack high, queen high, eight high,
Jack 8, 8
Yeah,
4
yeah.
suited,
Especially
clubs,
offsuit
whatever,
combos, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially offsuit combos.
And
Yeah.
You
then
block a few straights, it's kind of okay.
when he checks
I
back the
think-
turn, I don't think he has any nines. He rarely has a 7. So
A
Yeah,
seven
because
could be possible sometimes, ace
yeah,
seven,
but
king seven.
the way
yeah,
people play,
possible.
especially aggressive players, is that if they have a strong 7, let's say ace 7, king 7, the 7 on the turn seems like a very clean value bet. The board is very dry and then they need protection. So I think, when he checks back the
Yeah,
turn,
small bet sizing could be
yeah.
implemented by the
Yeah,
position.
probably like a small size, right? Most players, aggressive players especially, right? They know that you're gonna float the flop very wide and then they want to punish you. So when he checks back the turn and then goes small on the river, I think it's like quite a few
yeah, there's a
weighted
lot of
towards
merit hero calling here,
yeah.
right? He either
Yeah,
has
yeah.
ace
I mean,
4 or nothing.
we've kind of like touched on it. But yeah, ace
Mhm.
4, we blocked that, so okay.
Yeah,
But
that would be
obviously-
that would be a nice hand to make a call with. Yeah, for sure.
Nice small sizing on the flop. Go for the range bet. Maybe could have opened that one. Seems okay.
Hijack, yeah,
cover.
hijack, definitely opening it from the hijack. Like the bottom will be the suited king
King
between
5
king six
suited,
and
king
king five.
6,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Covering
Like you just
everybody.
don't want to. Yeah, you don't want to have a deuce three or four. So having a 6-7 is totally reasonable. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say like opening would be okay, and also like you can test it out, if there is a lot of resistance, you can skip like the next time you get dealt the same hand, like do a
Yeah, you
one
can
quick.
adjust, right? Yeah, just test the waters a little bit.
How
Okay.
deep are we in the tournament at this point?
Should be, I mean, 70K, 140K, it seems like
We're
probably
we
close
got to
to
be getting close to final table.
final table, yeah.
No, we aren't
Yeah,
there
but-
yet, but we're getting close. Yeah.
This is
Yeah, we
such
might
a
be
bizarre,
overshooting a little bit.
bizarre spot, yeah, because like the
Oh
dude
yeah,
who
I would
opened,
yeah.
the dude who opened, he made it like not 2x, not 2.2x, he just opened like 2.9, like 3x, I think, right?
Oh yeah, 2.9. So that's a weird
Yeah,
one.
that's a weird one. I think actually we're supposed to fold our hand because we don't cover any one of them, and we are dominated versus ace king O's, ace jack O's, Like, and I don't think he's opening 3x with jack 10 O. And the flat caller often has a hand like ace jack suited, king queen suited, So I personally
Interesting,
think
yeah.
like this would be a reasonable fold versus
Reasonable fold,
3x.
yeah. In theory,
Yeah.
it's probably like mixing or something. I
Yeah,
would
maybe
imagine
three
because
bet bluffing, maybe that would be possible. Yeah, I don't know. Obviously, versus 2x, we are super happy to definitely
to call,
beat
yeah.
this. Yeah.
Mm.
And again, like I think like you can actually make an argument for a aggressive line via three betting, Like I think
Yeah,
like
because now we win more chips, right? When we can go for like a smaller, like an 8 big blind, and then we stand to win like a lot more chips. And we have pretty good blockers, and then if
Yeah,
they
like
go all in, we can easy fold. But
yeah.
obviously that's a bit fancy. Like
Yeah, but
now that
obviously
it's
folding
yeah,
is better, I think, like in my opinion.
yeah,
In my
I would
opinion.
still call, but I think folding is very all three routes are pretty reasonable here.
Yeah,
But as played, I think when the ace drops, your hand is just toast. So I'm glad to see you didn't put in any more
But
any more
you know what
chips.
I was thinking? Like I would definitely consider check raising if I had king jack with king of clubs. Like
Okay.
when the ace drops, yeah, the imposition player is betting small, yeah, and all of the high card clubs would be counted for, like he could have only had like queen 10 of clubs as the only flush if we had king of clubs, And then like bluffing would be really nice to put a lot of pressure on the hand, like ace jack suited, ace queen suited, ace 10 suited, Obviously not with this hand. With this hand, like I would be like in much pain, And even though like I would also fold the turn every single time, yeah. But that would suck, The feeling would be like really grim.
Yeah, we flopped top pair. We didn't get to play
Did
the
not
flops.
did not get to call the flop versus small bet sizing.
Oh, this one
This
interesting
is
over
weird.
flat.
This is weird. Again, like the same concept applies, right? Let's say, for example, the player is loose passive or like spazzy preflop who limps the cutoff. Yeah, the button is ISOing like a reasonable. Like let's say, for example, he's ISOing the same range. He is three betting with versus an open. So
So
then
I was trying to play a hand with this guy because at this point I knew he was super aggressive and super wide. So we're
well,
gonna
Yeah.
then
The
you're
main
gonna
problem
play
is that you're out of position, right? But okay,
yeah.
so
And shallow. Like the problem is
yeah,
out of position, shallow, and then there is the second guy in between you. Yeah, so you're not actually playing the hand versus the calves
one
guy.
guy, yeah.
Yeah, you're playing the hand versus the aggressor who is on the button. So my assumption would be like this hand will only play as a
Jam, right?
re-raise or a fold. I actually think like you can reasonably make it like 7.5 big blinds as a re-raise pre-flop, you know, but I'm just saying like if I would play this hand because it actually looks like it would be the same response if the cutoff opens, you know, and then button three bets like to 4.5 big blinds. Just this time there's less chips, you know. So from the small blind we would play only four bet or fold strategy. Yeah. So the question is like where does the ace 10 suited fit? Well, probably it fits like somewhere in the middle, you know, between like two reasonable responses, you know, like in my opinion it would be a fold, yeah. But maybe in theory, like you can find an argument to because there's a bit more deeper stack sizes, like you can make an argument for a four bet all in with ace 10 suited also, yeah. But I would stick with ace jack suited plus and ace queen o plus, you know, those would be my go-to. Um, yeah, but I'm definitely not flatting. The flatting, I think, is the worst play you can make in this particular case, being out of position. If it was hijack plus button, hijack cutoff button, then I think flatting would be really nice because you're going to invite in the hijack player with a lot of offsuit 10x and offsuit ace-x, which is nice because you get to realize the most of your equity in position. You know?
Single race pot, right? Like
Yeah.
this three-way. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Here
And
we probably
here,
still have to continue with the call, I think.
I think actually like listen, like he did limp call and then he did block the turn. Like it looks a lot like a hand like, you know, pocket eight, you know, a hand like for example, I'm just giving an example,
Okay,
like a
yeah.
hand like 7-6 of spades, you know, a hand like Jack Queen O, you know. I
Might be a
think like
red line
actually
spot, yeah.
yeah, like we can reasonably represent a king, you know, reasonably represent a set, you know, of sevens and deuces. Yeah, I'm not saying I would do that, yeah, but I would actually not check call out of position. Like
Check raise
that's
here
just
is kind of, yeah,
yeah,
is a
like
play
I
for
would
sure.
continue as a check raise because, like, let's say, for example, if I wanted to call, like, I would choose a hand like Queen 10 suited, you know, an open ender, or a hand like Ace 5 of diamonds if I was in this configuration, you know.
Yeah, I
So,
mean I don't hate check call just because it's
I
very
mean, you're
small
out of
bet,
position, like,
right? And then yeah,
yeah,
you
it's a
have
problem.
an ace, but there's two diamonds out, right? So when you check call, it's like gonna be barely making money, right? So check raise is interesting consideration. Obviously, we kind of like play pre-flop with this hand, so it kind of got us into this uncomfortable spot. So I mean I think check calling or check raising are both pretty good here. Because
I
it's
think
just yeah.
actually check calling just is not gonna do you any good, you know, because like what I'm saying too is he's not bluffing. That's the thing. Yeah, because the sizing is way too
Probably have to
small.
hit the queen to get the
Or
showdown, right? Even if you hit the ace, if you hit the diamond ace, it's not great, right? We're in a tough spot, so yeah. I mean,
Isn't calling a bit kinda like not so bad when he makes
you called his hand
2.5?
sixes,
sixes, yeah,
sixes, eights,
sixes.
yeah. I
Like
was gonna say, yeah.
he's um he's like his bet size is so small to the 14 BB pot So
Yeah, he's just trying to get cheaply to
You're trying to
the
get the
showdown.
showdown cheap, yeah.
Yes, yes, and versus those lines, that's why we are check
Because
raising the turn.
because we also know he doesn't have a king, just because the way he plays, he's so aggressive. And then if he did limp something like a king queen, king jack, whatever, he would have bet the flop probably, right? Given this guy, so he's
Mhm.
kind of like yeah. And then when he goes so small on the turn, it just doesn't make sense to be a king queen, king jack type hand. So when he goes really small, I think he's like capped at like something like jack 10, queen jack.
And it also sucks
yeah.
to have the right price versus sixes. That's true. But it sucks
Yeah.
to lose versus sixes because you're out of position. You're
Yeah,
not able to bluff the river.
So when you
right?
check raise the turn, it's like against a hand like Queen Jack, you might call again, but you have sometimes a profitable bluff on the river, depending on the run out. Of course, I'm not saying to do it all the time, but when people are kind of telling you their hand face up, then you start to open like a lot of red line spots, just like
Yeah,
pure,
yeah,
not
for
even
sure.
like solver, just kind of okay, check raise turn. If you get a good river, you can just send it.
Okay,
And
but
he's gonna be
But when he wants to get cheap to the showdown, he also had another line, which would be just checking, right? I mean,
No, but
instead
you
of
see,
betting,
when he bets, he's kind of saying that I don't want you to call. It's also against two players, right? So he's kind of thinning the field and getting protection with his sixes, right? He
Yeah,
has a
but
hand that
that's in
doesn't
the
want to see.
recreational mind. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's the
true.
recreational mind. Yeah,
That's
yeah,
his
I
thinking,
agree.
right? So checking back. He doesn't want to do it because freaking the world of overcards, kind of. So yeah.
All right,
You get
on
what I'm
this
saying,
on
right?
that
this
would be my
one,
question, right? So if we see a line like this, you always think like it's a weekend, right?
Yes, it's a
Yeah. I mean,
weekend.
pretty much always a weekend. Like never a king,
So
never a
why
set.
would you call a
Check
king?
call,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, let's say for example, if you had a king jack, king queen hand, yeah, or like a set, why would you call out of position? Because he's not gonna bet the river because his hand is a weak showdown, some type of a like between the third and second pair hand. Yeah. So what's the point in calling ace highs? Yeah. If you're not going to be able to bluff out of position. If you were in position, you can call the turn and then bluff the river yourself because his hand is kind of telegraphed. But in position,
Yeah.
like you don't need to do as much raising as you do out of position. And also like keep in mind the really important piece of the puzzle is the in position check back on the flop. So when that happens, in position is less likely to have a king X hand because that is a pretty easy value bet on the flop. So once the fish bets here and the in position player folds, so you don't need to worry about the in position player having queens or ace jack. You're like, okay, I'm free to go. The fish has something in between, so we're gonna raise, yeah. And usually, what is gonna end up happening is like he's gonna fold, and even if he calls, yeah, their folding frequency on the river is close to 100% because they never have a hand stronger than the second pair. So you're gonna have a lot of fold equity on the river. And keep in mind, like you're not risking a lot. Like he bets like 2, you raise to 7. You're risking 7 to win like 16 or like something like that. It's a great risk to reward price in general.
Yeah. You still have some outs even when you get called.
Yeah,
So it's
definitely. An ace, a
not
queen,
crazy. A queen,
Yeah.
why not? Nuts.
Why not? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Can you play this over from the beginning? Because I don't know what happened here.
well, you call pre-flop and then
Okay.
you see bet small on a spot where he should be probably sizing up. And then
Wait, you
check
slow play
raise.
pre? Oh, you slow play pre, yeah?
Yeah.
As
Pretty big
playing
lead.
pre-flop is standard ACR thing. I don't know how you people always end up here with kings.
Yeah, I think like off a short stack, it's the way it works in theory at least. It's like you get to call aces and then you get to re-raise the kings, right? Because the
So
kings,
I thought it was you can call aces or kings both.
no. I
So
mean against like 20 bigs, I think it's like with ICM as well. Like it works like aces get to slow play and then kings you kind of have to jam or
Well,
three bet.
it all depends. Like imagine like if you have like 17 big blinds pre-flop, right? With 17 big blinds pre-flop, yeah, you can have a 3-bet bluff pre-flop. Like what I'm referring to is like, let's say for example, if we had a stack size where we cannot have a bluff pre-flop, yeah. But here we can have a bluff pre-flop, yeah. So let's say, for example, it was 11 big blinds, then we pure call aces, yeah. But like when it's a 17 big blind stack size for us, like I think personally, like I would stick out, like basically not make a call, yeah. I would make a 3-bet pre-flop at 17 effective. Because I think like there's actually a lot of merits in 3-betting, you know, in terms of like what good things can happen, like in my opinion. With but obviously in every single other node, yeah, kings are 3-betting pure, just because an ace-x block has 30% equity, 30% or 35% in some cases. Yeah. Like basically you just want to avoid him letting realize 30% equity. That's huge.
You don't want him to hit the ace, yeah. So I sent a few
Yeah.
screenshots if you guys are interested, but you know,
Yeah,
I mean,
but
obviously,
aces is definitely the thing that can make you the most money, for sure. For sure.
yeah.
So
You call
I'm not a
aces,
fan of the
you
raise
block his
size
ace,
here.
yeah.
It's a bit too large.
I check raise.
I mean, I think it's
Yeah,
okay.
check raise size is too large here. I think you can go like 5.5. Do the same
I
thing.
mean, I
Well,
think
you
when you
wanna-
check raise from the
jamming
small
the
blind
turn
is still
anyway,
pretty
right?
strong anyway, right? So, like,
Yeah.
I don't think
yeah,
it's a
we're
huge loss
like
of
20
EV, but
effective. Yeah, we can go like
I mean,
much smaller.
we still have kings, right? So kings
with the
without
diamond
ace,
especially.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
oof,
it's not
If I check raise
super.
here, I would go like 4.7 maybe.
I don't know. I mean, from the small blind, I usually go a bit bigger, just
I
because
think
my
we're in the
range
big
is
blind.
a little
We
stronger.
Big
are
blind.
on the big blind.
Yeah. Oh, you're in the big blind. Okay, then I'm.
Yeah.
I just keep thinking we're in the small blind for some stupid reason. I don't know.
Yeah,
The
that's some
however,
interesting.
the board has draws, so I like a
Yeah, I
bigger
mean,
sizing, and we just want to set up a easy jam on the
it's a
turn,
10 high
right?
board, right? So I mean, going
Yeah.
a little bit bigger is not crazy, but I get what you guys are saying.
Mm-hmm. I
Okay,
think
we
it's
check back.
reasonable.
Go for the jam.
I actually don't like this in ICM because we want him to call worse, you know,
Yeah.
going all in when his range still contains a hand like King 10 and Ace 10, especially like the King 10 is the problem, you know, like that's the big problem. You know, like if we had King 10, I could argue like this could be sometimes okay, you know, King
What size
10,
would
like
you go
okay.
for here? Half pot?
Actually,
This kind of 4 straight, I always go like a half pot or
Yeah.
60-60. Because I want him to call a one pair hand. I want him to call aces. I want him to call ace queen. I want him to call sometimes, if I'm lucky, queen 9. You know, if I go pot,
in my
he's not
opinion,
calling,
it's
right?
different. It's actually a little bit different when his range is super polar pre because he
Oh,
ISOs
yeah. No,
versus
you're
limp.
right.
Yeah. When he ISOs versus limp, yeah. Basically, the hand that we want to get paid from is like a hand like I don't know, like 8-3 of spades or like 9-6 of dime, 9-6 off, like 8-3 off. You know, all of these trash hands that stacked polar on the flop, and then
Hold
on the
on.
river.
Did we limp this?
Yeah,
No,
we're
I messed up the pre-flop. I thought it was a
We're small
UTG and
blind. We're
BB,
small
but
blind.
we
small
it's
blind.
the
So
fixed small in the ACR thing, so it gets a bit confusing if you don't play ACR, right? Like it's dead small and then you limp the button, if I'm not crazy.
yeah, like it's a little
I haven't
bit
played there
weird.
in a while, but yeah, like when you just have Jack 10 here, then
And also on ACR, be careful because you get reseated.
oh, it's heads up.
All the
I'm so dumb.
time.
Yeah, you
all
get
the
thrown into
time.
the
Yeah, and you play like 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, 800 every single hand at a different table at the start of the tournament. So yeah. And it looks like you're UTG, but actually there's only 3 people at the table and you're on the bottom.
You got to be careful, yeah.
Yeah, on ACR,
so
fucking
maybe half
Phil
pot
Nagy.
here would be good.
Actually, no. I personally think it's a big mistake to bet big with a hand that has like even the second pair block, you know, like basically like you can get called most of the time. You're gonna get called from a hand like ace jack off, you know, king jack off, you know, those hands cannot pay more than like, you know, quarter pot or like third pot, something like that, you know, because I think it actually makes sense to bet like half pot or 2/3 with the king 10 with a hand like Queen 10, with a hand like 9-10. You know, those ones make sense here. But these ones here that are like Jack 10, especially with 10 of hearts, yeah, like I personally would go small because you want to secure those calls on the river, you know, like, and those calls usually come from not from the Queen X, because if the Queen bets the flop and then the turn is an 8 and he has a good Queen, he's all in, like, or like close to all in, obviously. So he
Oh
has,
my goodness.
yeah, he
Sorry.
always has
Is
a
this
hand.
FT now or FT bubble or where are we at?
We have to be getting close to FT bubble here.
Probably final 3 tables. It seems about there. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
then I
I mean,
don't
we're
like the
at
limp
80.
three. I don't think he ever has like ace king, king 10, or ace queen, ace jack here when he goes so small pre. And then on the river,
okay.
I think we need to bet smaller to get called by
Called by
like
worse, yeah.
any pair.
I really thought about jamming here, and I think I did.
I like jam. I don't think you should do anything else.
I actually think it's like I personally think it's not the board. It might look draw heavy, but it's actually dry.
You wanna click here, I guess?
So on the dry boards, like you usually want to do a lot of small betting yourself on the flop, not going like 2.6, not half pot, because like it's like a sort of dry board, you know. You want to go like smaller, induce a check raise, and then you want to click it back, yeah, in my opinion. But again, like 10 high boards are a little bit more different, but usually like what ends up happening is like what you want to happen is like you want to bet and you want them to raise a gut shot. You want to raise a hand like 9-8 suited, 8-7 suited, you know, a hand like 3 to a straight, 3 to a flush, and that's why like you can easily call a hand
It's
like
gonna have some big bets, I think, but
I mean, I get it, yeah. With in Chip EV, like it's totally okay, but in
with
ICM,
jacks
you know,
for sure,
when they
yeah.
are not, yeah, when the opponent is not defending like a hand like let's say for example 4-3 offset, you know, it's not defend pre-flop in ICM, yeah. A hand like 10-8 offset, you know, not defending as frequently as they would in Chip EV, you know, 10-7 offset, 10-6 offset, you know, those offset top pairs, you know. And that's why I personally, if I would bet big, yeah, I would do that with jacks, obviously without a heart. With a heart, I would be betting small. Yeah. And versus a raise, I would be pure. I think I would pure call, honestly, with jacks, with jack of hearts, because like often enough, like what ends up happening is like it's like 1-to-1 stack to pot ratio, right? And like you have the jack of hearts, yeah. And like if he's bluffing usually with a hand like king of hearts 7, queen of hearts, I don't know, like 7. Like for example, I'm just giving examples. Yeah, a hand like I don't know, 9-8 of clubs. You know, like basically he has like these super polar bluffs. You know, that are easy to miss. You know, that's a lot of offset combos. You know, ace deuce offset. You know, with ace of hearts. You know, that's a gut shot. You know, and those hands are not calling an all in. You know, because like you're gonna still stack off with the 10, you know, and you're still gonna stack off with the flush draw, you know, like it's not gonna change for us, in my opinion, obviously.
Yeah. I mean your hand, obviously Alex makes very good points, but I think your hand generally likes to fast play quite a bit, you know, because it's vulnerable, and a hand like Queen 7, yeah, I mean, whatever
I
he
mean,
has.
I'm just saying, like, let's say for example, you have jacks without a heart, obviously go all in, it's all good, you know, like all
More
no
protection needed, and
bueno.
then
Yeah,
with
yeah,
jacks
yeah.
with a heart, you can of course play it a bit more snug
And
and
obviously
let him
like
bluff.
obviously like you make a lot more EV, yeah, when you call and they stack off on the turn, you know. Like there's a lot of EV to be made from these.
sure,
Like
yeah.
let's say he raised like King of Hearts 6 and he jams a turn with just a naked open ender, you know, no flush draw, no anything, you know. And you make a lot of EV, you know, by doubling up versus bottom block of their range, you know, holding jacks with the Jack of Hearts, you know. That's why, like, obviously, like in Chip EV, it's a little bit different, you know. In Chip EV, you can play whatever you want to, you know.
But
I
even
would
against
call
this
aces.
hand,
I would call aces for sure, yeah.
even against this hand, let's say the turn was a 5 of hearts, and now he jams. At least we
I
can
mean,
call, right?
we
Because
obviously call
we have
off,
the
yeah.
redraw, right? That is, yeah.
No, I think even if you had jacks with no heart, and then you slow played the flop, you know, and then the turn came 5 of hearts. He goes all in. You still have to call because
Yeah,
he just
it's
has
a
a bunch
bit
of 10x.
grim.
But
It's
but but
a
it
bit
feels
It's a
better
bit
to
bad.
have it feels better to have the jack of hearts, right?
I mean, of course, yeah.
Definitely. Yeah,
It's just a stack to pot ratio thing where if the pot is already big enough, you're just never folding, even though you could be drawing dead, you know.
Indeed, because your
So you want to
opponent
pick your
only.
combos a little bit more, you know, keep on the safe side, right? You want to
Yeah,
have a bit of
it's
a
a
redraw and stuff like that. Which is why
confidence
jacks with the
thing.
hearts, you're
Hearts
gonna
would
do
you
it.
still
You're
call
gonna
off?
do it more to slow play,
Yeah.
right? Yep.
Yeah, and definitely these slow plays, obviously, like they are like specific to the position, right? When it's like button versus big blind, yeah, your opponent can have all of these
I think
offsuit
you can
hands.
probably open there, ace 8.
I think
He did.
opened
He
all-
opened and he got 3-bet. Yeah. He opened, he got 3-bet small, and then he folded, which is probably what you should do. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Very
Never
nice. Yeah,
mind.
very nice open, very nice fold. Everything was played.
Yeah.
Yeah, really nice.
Call, top pair, check raise.
Oh my God.
No,
I
the
mean,
sizing is too big. I think call is good.
I know why he called, yeah. Like I understand why he called, yeah. Yeah. And again, like this is like really nice to call with the Queen of Diamonds. Because like the essential like high equity hands that will, you know, double barrel the turn will be like, you know, a hand like Queen Jack O, you know, King Queen O with the 1 diamond.
Did
So
we
I
win that
think
pot or what happened?
we can replay because we called the flop and then there was a turn, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Deuce,
obviously
check.
I like calling the flop and I like calling the turn. Like I think we played this hand perfectly. We allowed him
Alright.
to bluff with the
Wow,
bluff.
he did bluff, huh? He
I
did
think
bluff
it's
it off.
yeah, it's perfectly played versus
Okay.
that sizing. Yeah.
Versus the big sizing makes a lot of sense, yeah.
Versus small, obviously you can check raise easily, and versus big sizing, like you can check raise if you want to with ace 10, king 10 without the diamond for sure. And yeah, chill.
So this is promised
Alright.
land, final table, 9 max.
We made it?
Yeah,
9
yeah,
max.
we made
Okay,
it
okay.
to the final table, which is
Very
lovely.
good.
Yeah, very nice play. Yeah, very nice play. Yeah, like you either jam or raise. Like obviously, like first. No,
Jam seems pretty good. I mean, the
yeah,
thing is that there's a
because
6.6, there's a 10.7, 7.4. This guy's gonna be under a lot of. You just play any two here.
there is a risk
But,
premium like super
yeah.
high. Yeah, and I understand why we opened. Yeah, because like on ACR, like you jam all in, they call ace 7 offset, and you are suddenly.
So speaking from a bit of experience, a
Yeah,
bit of
yeah.
unhappy experiences, but yeah, just
Happy.
not limping and just playing any two cards, I think is the right path, you know.
Yeah,
So
I agree.
I'm not
I agree.
I don't hate the raise to 3
I would
because he's
actually
gonna have to
not limp anything. Like I would not
Oh
limp
yeah, no,
anything.
I mean I
Yeah.
would not even limp really bad hands personally.
Yeah,
I would
like if
just
I had
jam.
like deuce 7 offset, I would just open. You know?
Yeah, just open the 3 if they're supposed to call pretty wide against that, but you get to play post and then, you know, like a lot of my tournaments, I've been like busted by jamming a little too wide, you know, 9 deuce, 6 deuce. So you can just open those to 3 and then you can jam like the suited ones, 4-3 suited, 5-3
Yeah,
suited.
and also like if your opponent is a recreational, you can just open every single hand. Yeah.
You don't need to jam so heavy against them because
Yeah.
they are not gonna play back, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
What about opening this one?
The 3 is a little bit bad, so I don't know. Let's hear from Alex.
Honestly, like it all depends like on the players behind, you know, like if you have like 2 fucking chairs, like you just can open every single ace. Like really, every single ace is a
True, yeah.
reasonable open. Yeah.
Yeah, I personally like to go a bit ace 4, ace 5, right? Because I want a
I
bit of
just
backup.
I do the
get
first
3-bet,
time I
yeah.
tried out the table, yeah. If I see a
Test
playback,
out
yeah.
the table. Yeah.
The first time I don't.
Okay.
Like for
Little
example,
bit
this
of
is a lot worse than the last time, you know, with an ace, you know.
yeah, you're also opening into a guy that covers you, and now the few of the short stacks are gone, so you know we need to be aware of that, right? Because Jack 8 is never open in Chip EV, and now you're opening into a guy who covers you, so it's a little bit of an exploit. I mean, not a little bit; it's a big exploit if you're gonna open this profitably.
It's weird, you know. It's so weird. Like, well, what was the reasoning for it? Like,
I was just trying. I honestly, I was trying to take the blinds.
Take the
I thought I
lead, yeah.
could. But
Yeah, because
Yeah.
Jack 9, we're like already close in chip EV, and then we're expanding when there's a chip leader on our left. So, you probably want to be slightly tighter. You can open Jack 9. I think it's okay.
I think
You're
I
probably
think
gonna be a bit
actually
passive.
I think actually you cannot open Jack 9. That's the thing, when the dude is covering you,
Yeah.
and the button has enough
Oh,
stack depth for a
Three
cold
bet.
call in the
I mean,
3-bet.
obviously this is a big exploit, but we're
I don't
on
know.
the
I'm this.
yeah.
I
You can
might
just fold, but
decide.
yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what I do.
Okay,
I
good.
folded.
But yeah. I mean, Alex
Yeah,
makes a good point.
versus
Like we're
2.5, that's a good fold. Yeah, versus
Yeah.
2.5 with ace 3. Yeah, I would also
Yeah.
and this is also
and
very good.
this is
very
good because the
nice.
big blinds, 4 big blinds, you just let them collide, and it's pretty good.
And the button was also a
Easy
big
fold.
stack.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one was nice. I like it.
Call is pretty good here.
Yeah, call
and
is
you call and
nice.
check it down. So
Oh my
little
god.
big blind is supposed to call like very wide, and then you guys are supposed to check it down a lot. So
Yeah. It's
that's
so
actually
funny.
yeah
It's so
something I
funny.
learned recently.
Yeah, it's so
That
funny that how this played out, When ace here, you just go all in from the small blind with ace 8, they call ace 6.
oh, we could have played this one maybe. Oh
Yeah,
no,
we
probably
should have.
not.
We should
There's a
have.
2.4 guy, so if you think this guy, you should be very tight here into Rapofo, right? So I think that's what you were thinking, but this probably still can open.
No,
Right,
like
it's only one
I
guy.
would definitely open king nine
Yeah.
suited, because we have enough of a hand. First of all, yeah,
Mhm.
and the second thing is like even if you're tighter, yeah, you're never gonna fold king nine suit.
Yeah, probably.
Even
It's
if
over
there is,
adjustment,
if there is a 2 BB stack even at the table, like even I think like even if there is like a 0 big blind stack like already folded, you're still gonna open king nine suited.
Yeah,
Why
it
is
seems like a
that?
good hand.
Why is that? Because the dude who was a big stack was on the small blind. He was out of position versus us. Yeah, that means like we're gonna. I'm trying to look it up. Like, what do we open from the cutoff? Okay, when there is a 2 big blind stack, we open 15% from the cutoff, and king nine suited is always in.
Yeah.
Ace nine suited is always in. So we can adjust, yeah, but we can when there is a basically like it is adjusting, yeah, but even in the rare scenarios, like the hand that we had is always an open with
Mhm.
king nine suited, yeah. So adjustment comes, yeah, but the adjustment is not as tight as we assumed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So this next hand, I don't think you guys are gonna like at all, and I know I did not do well. So
I like it already. I like it already.
yeah. Okay. You're
I
gonna
don't
see.
hate it. I mean, okay, we
It
bet,
gets
and we should go
worse.
small on the flop. Okay, we don't have diamond, so what happens? He calls. I mean, I assume he calls, and then we barrel it off. I mean, we have like what 5-handed left, Okay, check the turn probably.
Yeah, and fold the
Check
turn
fold,
without
check
the
fold. Yeah,
diamond.
gotta
Yeah.
gotta
Yeah,
check
call.
fold. This no,
I
I
think-
mean, wow, you played it pretty well.
I
to be
mean,
honest.
Okay.
honestly,
I thought
like
I thought that maybe it's a different one, but I thought I called there.
Oh no, I mean, you played this
Yeah.
one pretty
The
GTO
only
IMO.
the only thing that I would say is that like imagine like if we three bet pre-flop, like these low boards, like I personally like
Oh,
with
check
the
the
flush
flop, yeah?
on, yeah, like you are betting the king jack, with the diamond, yeah, that's okay. And
Yeah.
you usually want to bet like a little bit larger on the flop, like you want to go like 40% pot with diamond, and yeah, it would be nice to have a diamond in the club, that would be my
Yeah,
go-to
the
betting
nut
combo.
suits for offsuit King Jack, right? But with no diamond, I think like checking and giving up is
Checking,
also
folding. Yeah,
pretty.
check
Just
folding
check
on
and
the
fold
flop.
because
Yeah,
you just don't
exactly.
block enough. You unblock a lot of the continues and stuff like that, right? So
And one more thing that I will quickly mention is that let's say the dude opens from the hijack, yeah, like when there's not as much risk premium as there was like 8-handed, yeah, like I personally think that this hand qualifies as a fold pre-flop, in my opinion, yeah, like this hand, yeah, king jack offsuit, yeah. But if there is a 3-bet, yeah, then these like these sort of like in between hands, yeah, will like, build a range, like, your range will be just 3x sizing, you don't need to go bigger, but you cannot go 5 or 5.5. Like, you need a little bit more fold equity. So
Yeah.
usually the go-to sizing will be like full 3x as a minimum. And sometimes like you can build a 3.5x range or like 4x range, a
Yeah,
little
you're out of
bit more.
position, so you don't want to incentivize him to call. You're on the
Mhm.
FT. So okay, took a stab, and then yeah, it's okay. I mean, it has to be fine to bet it, right? I don't hate it. Checking, we can't really win that often.
No,
All in.
I was thinking about splitting ranges here again. When we have
Mm.
king six jack, maybe go some hands for bigger sizing, some hands for small sizing, and that one has so no showdown. I would just go for bigger sizing.
Okay, I mean it's probably fine to do both because you're targeting a lot of the auto folds with 10-8. So seems okay.
Yeah, this
Splitting
one would
hairs a
be
little bit.
interesting. This one would be interesting in my opinion. Like, I don't know if it's an open, but is
From
is
the
there like
button.
no, no,
Yeah,
I'm,
from
I'm
the
just
butt.
trying. I'm just trying to imagine. Like, I think it's four-handed, right?
Yeah, now we have five guys.
Five guys, yeah.
Five-handed.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
we
yeah,
have
yeah.
like
So
30 big blinds on the button. I'm,
yeah, it
I'm
might
just
be
trying.
okay for a steal.
Yeah, I'm just trying to imagine like what would be my bottom. When there's one dude with a 7 big blind and the second dude had like 20. Yeah.
I mean, the guy having 7 just makes me feel I gotta be a bit tighter. So might be 9-7,
Yeah.
like kind of close
If
to the
if
bottom.
I if I look it up in the like similar sim, 9-7 suited is pure open and we open 40% range. So the bottom of the
Okay,
range is every single 8-7 suited from until ace-7 suited,
Yeah,
and then
for sure.
then
Yeah.
you can fold 10-6 suited, 9-6 suited, 8-6 suited, 7-6 suited. So the suited 9x block is pretty
I
good
mean,
against
this
other.
one, like, I don't even mind thinking of playing some jams here. Could possibly be good. Maybe not. The
No, no,
ACR,
no.
yeah, because the A big blind guy, so
No.
probably no jam. But yeah,
Yeah,
this
you
open.
know when
This
you
open.
can jam? I think you can jam when you have like 50 to like 80 big blinds, when you are so much far ahead of the guys in the
Yeah,
book.
not into the second chips, that's a bit suicidal. So I take
Yeah.
that back.
And
And he can call
obviously,
pretty wide if he jam
I
because
think also
he
9-7 also just unblocks, so
yeah,
it's
yeah.
not
It's not the best hand to do it with.
yeah,
much better. Would be maybe some
With
king 3 or something like that, but king
yeah,
3
yeah.
suited.
No, it's hard to see the stacks a little bit because it's
yeah,
gray,
this is
so
fucking
I had
ACR
a
swap.
this one is kind of gross, I think.
Yeah, but you have
Can't
a pure call for
yeah.
sure. Yeah, 8.7 big blinds.
Yeah,
You can.
okay, 6.7, 6
Yeah,
point like yeah, some big lines
I,
more.
I
We have to
like it.
call
I
it off.
like it. I like it. Lovely.
Oh, we dominated, so that's good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally. It's well played hand, and yeah. Okay. Yeah, this is
We
definitely
okay.
not.
That's good, yeah.
We opened or not open?
Yeah, we
I think
did.
we did. Yeah.
Yeah,
This
James,
is
so far,
unopened.
this may be your best game I've ever seen.
Wow, high praise. High praise. Yeah, no, I think you've been playing pretty solid, honestly. I saw a lot of good plays. Especially your FT has been on point so far. Pretty decent.
Yeah,
Jam here,
these ones looks like totally okay. Like, you have such a big edge over the other stack
the
sizes.
table,
So
yeah.
yeah, I think like we're gonna just like print the chippies. It's gonna be like really lovely.
Oh, call. Yeah, I would call as well, personally.
What was the pot size? Sorry.
Okay, so he jammed 9 into
9
5.
into 5. Yeah.
Queens of a spade, I would always just call this personally, but it's here.
This was the guy that he mentioned that was like crazy.
The
He's
crazy
probably
guy, right? So
he's
just
probably
jamming
super,
like any
super,
draw.
super somewhere in the fairy lines.
Yeah, yeah. Because it's just so natural for him to defend like a hand like ace 8 suited or ace 9 suited and then
Yeah.
check the flop. So when he jams, like
Yeah, I think he
I just
only
don't
has
think
a
he's
flush
exploiting
draw.
you if you call queens there. He's not really exploiting you. So
But
I
since
always call these
you
spots. I'm always good.
since you mentioned you want to have the
Nice.
queen of spades, do you think would you just call any pocket queens there in the
I
last
mean, pocket
Actually, I
queens no
would
spade
not.
obviously is not like ideal, but you still have a pretty strong hand. You're gonna be folding a lot of hands like king queen. You're gonna be folding a lot of hands like pocket fives, pocket pocket nines,
Yeah,
even like not great, right? So queens, you have like a more valor, like more resistance against hands like 9, 10 of spades, But if you have a hand like pocket fives, you don't have the same defense against these draws which have overcards. Maybe he has something
Go
like
back
king.
2 hands. Go back 2 hands.
Yeah.
Go back to limper. This is where I
Yeah.
started limping. On 9-4 is where I started limping.
Is this almost
And
heads
I
up
start.
3 ways? Yeah.
We are heads up. Yeah.
Okay. So heads up, yeah, definitely limp for sure. Well played.
he limped, and we
Oh,
should
he
never
limped. We
fold the
checked back.
flop,
Okay.
and we should never fold the flop with 3 to a
Yeah.
straight, 3 to
You can
a
float the flop for
flush.
sure.
Yeah, we should call one time on the flop and then decide on if we had like
Yeah.
9-4, sure, without the heart we fold. Yeah, but this is just like we need to
The
like
9 of hearts seems good enough
well,
to
like
do
one
something.
heart is okay, 3 to a straight, and also these straights are weird with the 9. You can make a 5-10, sorry, 5-7, then you can make 10 jack, and then you also can make the third one, like 10-7, yeah, 10-7.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm looking at it. I'm looking at it in the solver, and solver calls 9-5, but 9-4, even with 9 hearts, it will fold to the one big blind. I
It
think
will
because
fold
the
versus
4
one
is
big
kind of
blind.
dead. Yeah, I have the solve.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Interesting.
because the
Like
4 is too dead, right? We want a 2-card hand. So let's take a look. Yeah,
oh, so interesting, really, that it folds in a limp pot.
even 9
Like,
of hearts. Even 9 of hearts. So
yep,
it's kind of like.
this is like so fascinating because I would definitely never fold at this hand. Yeah, like,
I found that like if it's like a jack tree, stuff like that, like jack tree, even jack tree with jack of hearts, I just stack that, it just folds, right? With
yeah,
the
that
jack of
that
hearts,
one
you think
makes
it's very
sense. Yeah.
strong, but the,
Yeah,
the
but that one
tree,
makes sense.
yeah,
Yeah.
the tree just
This
like blocks too many,
Mm.
too many bad cards on the turn. You're never
Fascinating,
gonna win the pot.
fascinating. Yeah, like
Yeah,
I would have always called, and I would
yeah,
not even thought to myself, this is a bad call. I have
yeah.
fucking
Same.
seven.
That's why I kind of looked
Yeah,
up the spot because I kind of knew that it's
yeah,
easy
seven
to
save
overfold and
leads.
it's
Yeah.
easy to overcall. So yeah, yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, it makes sense. That means it's a
Yeah, we should
really
limp. We should limp the 7-4, I think, for sure. It's a good hand. Off 17, we don't want to play many folds at all. Check
agreed.
call. Yeah.
Check call. Yeah.
Turn
Oh.
seems kind of nice. We have the gut shot. We have to continue. Okay, we check the river and then he
Oh,
checks back.
I don't know about the river.
Maybe
Like,
donking the river is kind of nice, because
I'm
he's
just
never gonna
trying
really.
to, yeah, I'm just trying to think like how do we win the hand when we have a hand like 8-7? The only
Is
way we
any
win the hand is by leading the river using a small bet sizing because like we want to make him indifferent with 8-10, right? Like it's not like
Yeah.
he's gonna fold a king, I'm not targeting a king, We just want to make him fold a hand like a 10, like he has like a 10-8, he has a hand like ace-10, he's going to be completely indifferent versus a small bet sizing with the 10 or a 9.
I have a question about the turn. Is there I was actually thinking about raising here on the turn.
No, you don't
Oh
raise.
wow.
Because we
No.
have the bottom pair and we have
Like
not
Nah, I
hyper
don't think you
we
wanna.
have some future. So if we jam turn, I might I could think that 9x can fold.
Yeah, but the 9 might never bet the turn.
Yeah.
Like, besides like ace
True,
9.
that is true.
Like
Yeah, he took
one,
a big sizing on a turn as well, B71, right? So he's never really. He might bet some Jack 9, Queen 9, but not something like 9-7, 9-6. So when he bets Jack 9, Queen 9, he will not fall to the raise, because he has the gut shot.
His
Ace 9,
sizing,
he doesn't have the gut shot, he will check.
but
I'm looking
his
at it in the solver,
sizing,
so
yeah, okay, but his sizing makes sense for a 10.
yeah, he's betting all his 10x on the turn pretty much. A bit, especially if he has more equity. He's checking like 10 deuce, 10-5. He will start betting like 10-6, of diamonds, just to get called by a 9. So what I want to share is that the river actually is pure check in the solver. And
it is interesting, right? Like,
yeah, it is interesting. It's pure check in the solver. I assume that we might do some leading, but But no, because
Oh, now I see. Like, I was
small
thinking,
blind
like,
has
how do-
so many straights in this line,
Yeah,
right? Small blind just
yeah,
has all the because once they bet the turn, right? They're betting Jack 8, they're betting Jack 7, they're betting
yeah. Jack 3 suited,
Jack
Jack 4
10,
suited.
Queen 10,
Yeah.
pure, right? And we're not check calling those pure, you know, we're folding a few like Jack 7, we're folding Jack 6 of hearts, we're folding, you know, so we miss out on a lot of the straights, and that allows us that disallows us from being
Yeah,
aggressive and
this
leading the
this
river.
is this is like very interesting. You know,
Yeah,
I was
so
thinking to myself, how do
yeah,
we win the hand? But I guess like we need them to bluff the river, and then we
yeah,
even can uh raise if they bet small on the river. You know, they go thin
yeah,
for value with like two pairs or sets, right, on the
yeah.
river. Yeah,
So James, you played the hand pretty much GTO, I think. Like
yeah.
it's looking okay, you know. The turn
Interesting,
is clean,
interesting.
river is absolutely clean. I mean, we just checked and then flop is good. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
So
and
well done.
I really like the flop and turn call. Like those ones
Hmm.
were really nice, you know, because like especially when you have a pair, like every other single jack X that he's bluffing with cannot outdraw you, you know, in
Hmm.
a way, you know, like they can. Yeah,
Yeah, the 10-4 probably we want to play like jam or limp off 9 big blinds. But yeah, raising would be a little bit exploitative, but maybe it works against this guy, you know, Herman Trout,
yeah,
Brazilian reg.
He was a reg, yeah.
Yeah, I mean he's plays on GG as well, I think. So mid-six grinder. Not the most uh pretty okay player, I guess. Yeah, so the problem with min raising 9-4 is that you get jammed on and it gets very rough very quick. Right. So we
Mm.
should be playing
Whenever you
limp
have
or
a 4, a 3, or a deuce, you're blocking the folds, right? So you don't want to.
yeah, that as well. But we just want to limp and keep our limping range kind of depolarized
agreed,
and strong. Yeah. Uh
agreed.
but once we start raising, he has an easy rejam with a bunch of stuff, and it's very hard for us to play. Yeah. So here we just fold in the big blind and it's okay.
Mm-hmm,
Folds as
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
well. I mean he's
It is so weird that he's falling so much.
okay, this one is pretty clean, yeah. I mean definitely go all in there.
15 big blinds effective,
Yeah.
right? Yeah,
And then he
no,
limps, and then we go all in with ace king offsuit. I like it a lot. With the suited version, we can isolate, but with offsuit version, jamming is always going to be very profitable. Take down the hand, you know, he's going to limp call you quite wide as well. So you want to have some strong hands as well.
I just had a heads up where I went all in the same spot with ace three, and the guy called with jack 7-1.
Yeah, no, so he's supposed to call quite wide for sure. He's not dying. We want to end the
No,
review
I
on
don't
a
think you
strong
call
note, but
jack 7 off with 17 bigs.
oh no, definitely not, right? But that's kind of
But
like,
yeah,
what
yeah.
you got to the heads up and then he just wanted to gamble, so
honestly,
he
this
got
one
there.
seems like a blunder, honestly.
I
A
agree.
bit too much, right? Because
Like,
with a
why
gut
would
shot, we have
you?
like an easy check call in the flop, or
Yeah, why would we go all in? I'm just trying
yeah,
to figure it out. Like, let's say for example, like opponent has like king jack. Is he folding? No. Is he has jack nine? Is he folding? No. If he has a
yeah,
flush draw, is he folding? No. Well, maybe we make him fold a six, but I don't think a six is betting too often, right?
yeah. No, I think even if you want to fold a six, right? Like a small check raise would make a bit more sense, right? He's not. Uh, even then, I mean, bet calling.
Hmm.
I don't know.
I would not go all in at least. Like if I
Yeah,
would,
because when our equity when called is pretty bad, right? We don't have
yeah,
diamonds
very.
as well, so it's kind of like if he worst case scenario, he has like queen X of diamonds. We're kind of just drawing
I mean,
to the
even if he
chop, you
has,
know.
yeah,
Yeah,
if he only has like a 10 or a queen, we still have just four outs, you know, two and
yeah, it's
eight.
not.
Yeah,
He's not folding those, I think. So
yeah.
yeah, I would just check call the flop or just go for the small check raise, I think.
Check call would be perfect. Check call would be
Yeah,
perfect. Yeah, with a gut shot. Yeah.
yeah. I'm looking
Uh,
at solver because we have the backdoor hearts. Check calling is preferred. Oh,
yep.
we got
We
there.
drill an eight
We drill
on
it.
the
Okay,
turn, even a heart.
nice.
Oh my goodness, Mamma mia.
GG's, man.
GG is very well played, James. I think this
Yeah,
is your best
lots of
game.
good hands.
What was this tournament buy-in, by the way?
1650.
16.5 on the ACRs, I think.
Oh, 16.50. Okay, okay. That's very, very reasonable, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But I
So
mean,
what-
there's a lot of edge that we can make on these ACR games, you know.
For sure, yeah.
But remember that you need to win your all-ins. So yeah, good luck with that.
Well,
So very
I
well
ran pretty
played.
good.
I want to say thank you to Alex. Your very precious input was amazing. Thanks, Jeremy, as always.
Thank you.
If you want to support the study session, make sure to check out pokercoaching.com. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure to like and subscribe. And on this,
Yes, it was nice. It was really lovely, and
Yeah.
I was so lucky to join because I saw the link on accident. You know, I was just free for this evening and found it on
Wonderful.
accident. It was
You're
around
always
midnight.
welcome. Your input is very appreciated. So on
Yeah,
this, we're gonna
I
wrap it
love
up. We're gonna see you guys on Friday. Thanks a lot and have a good one.
Yeah, thanks.
Cheers all.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Cheers.